have a packed house here for the first event of the 2021 Marble Champions League. As we welcome you inside of Marble Fubeca'S Stadium, we have a look at our gigantic trophy here for our winner, which will be determined not today, but a little bit later on. We've got 12 teams competing. We've got fans from all 12 teams from across their countries and across the world here to see today's first event, as well as some fans who are just in it for the fun. Hello again, friends. I'm Keanu Bittersea, glad to be here on behalf of Marble Fubeca for today's coverage of our first event of the 2021 Marbles Champions League. In just a few moments, you're going to see all 12 of our teams that are competing make their way onto the stage and get a chance to show themselves in front of their fans and in front of the entire world watching today. As I said, 12 teams competing to be named the ultimate Marble Champion. Let's meet the teams. Nobody knows how to do an opening quite like Marble Fubeca here at the Marble Fubeca'S Stadium. It was an exciting moment just moments ago as these teams made their first appearances in front of their fans. You see some of those amazing marbles, the different designs, and the great logos for these teams as they were getting a chance to become acquainted with these fans who will watch them over the next few weeks, find their favorites, and root for their ultimate winners. The teams are ready, the fans are ready, we are ready, let's go. It's event number 1, this is target shooting. So you look inside of today's event stadium, where we will be doing target shooting as we just said. We were in the main lobby moments ago, now we turn our eyes toward center court. And an opportunity for these 12 teams to make their first impressions in front of their fans. There are the pins, those orange pins that they will be shooting for. There are 21 pins, so an opportunity for 21 points. Similar to the way that you would score in bowling, you're looking to knock down those pins just like you would in bowling. There is the single lane course, which includes an upward hill that they're going to go over. I believe there's a shooting mechanism inside of that tunnel there, which should help with some speed. Be interesting to see as there are 7, I believe that is. Yeah, 7 different levels on this pyramid here where our pins are located. I'm going to try to see where is the best location. If you've been with us for a while here on Marble Fubeca, you know how the tournaments work. There are 4 groups, Group A, B, C, and D. Top 2 will qualify from each group, move into 2 semifinals. The top 2 from each of those semifinals will advance into the final round where they'll place 1st through 4th. First team out of the gate, Group A, it's the Archangels. Here we go. And a score of 19 pins down, so 19 points on the board for the Archangels. Let's have a look at the replay here. A great slow-mo. There are, misspoke, 6 levels there, and it looked like that was a hit on the 3rd level, a little bit off to the right side. So not exactly even from the Archangels, but still 19 points. Can't do a whole lot better than that, so a strong start for the Archangels. We'll see if that's enough to survive Group A. But a strong start for them, as the Savage Jackal will be the next to go, and they are released. And a score of 15. They left some to be desired there. 6 pins on the bottom left alone. Let's see. That was a little bit too high. In between the 2nd and 3rd levels there, didn't have enough of a centralized location there for the Savage Jackal, so they leave a little bit more to be desired. and score 15. They move into second. Here are the Vikings, and they will pick up 17 points. And with that, the Archangels are locked into the next round, and the Savage Jackal are out. So it'll come down to the Vikings, as we'll have a look one more time at their replay. It looks like it's very similar to what the Archangels put up, just a little bit higher. And so it didn't get a whole lot of contact with those bottom two layers. Had to rely on pins falling on top of pins. Worked out a little bit better than the Savage Jackal, but not as well as the Archangels. Last team up is the Janitors here in Group A. Let's see what they can do. They're up, they're through, and it's a clean sweep. 21 on the board for the Janitors. They're through. Advancing with them are the Archangels, and the Vikings and Savage Jackal are eliminated. Let's see where the Janitors located this one. Looks like it's perfect, right in the middle between the bottom two rows there, and you can't do it a whole lot better than that. The Janitors off to a strong start with 21 points and did it in 2.7 seconds. It was the slowest run, likely because they were the lowest where they made contact with the pyramid there. So advance the Archangels and the Janitors into the first semifinal. And Group B now will begin with the Steel Brothers. We'll see what they can put forward. They're off. Going through, and they have a clean sweep. 21 points on the board for the Steel Brothers. At a time of 2:667. Let's see where they made contact. Was it the same as just moments ago? Looks pretty similar, a little bit further to the right side there, so it wasn't as even in terms of being centered up, but still worked just as well. A lot of speed carried, and the Steel Brothers off to a strong start, likely advancing into the next round. But you never know as we move on to Tatu Bola. Stands for the 3 balls. Let's see what they can do. They're hoping they're going to score more than 3. They didn't score anything. Oh my, it's a clean miss from Tatu Bola. And they are in trouble. Wow, that is extremely disappointing. So they are almost guaranteed to be eliminated, as here are the Trojans, and they pick up 19 points. So that'll move Tatu Bola out of here. We'll lock in the Steel Brothers, and let's have a look at this replay here for the Trojans, see how it worked. Looked like a little bit better location than we've seen on a couple of these, but only able to even what the Archangels did at the beginning of this tournament in Group A. The Trojans are on the hot seat here. Can they advance, or will it be Swiftblade? We'll see what they can do. They are released from the holding cell. Off they go, and a clean sweep. They do it in a time of 2:753. They take the second transfer spot. The group win will go to the Steel Brothers, but Swiftblade puts up our third clean sweep out of the first 8 competitors to go. And you can see a pretty solid run there. So 8 teams done, 8 teams to go. I misspoke earlier and referred to our tournament with 12 teams. It's 16. Obviously, I mentioned them all, just got the math a little wrong there in my head. 16 teams, 8 down, 8 to go. Here's the Lynx Roughus. And, oh, that was interesting. We'll have to have a look at this and see what the replay shows us. Almost looks like they missed. Let's have a look. They put up 16. Sure enough, they didn't make contact with any of the pins, made contact with the surface that's holding the pins together, enough to kind of ruffle them around, and a few of them fall, and a pretty good score there, considering the fact that they didn't make any contact whatsoever with a single pin. 16 points on the board. Here's Flush. And they will knock down all 21. Certainly made contact there as we have a look at this replay. Not very solid contact, though. So Group C has done it in different ways than our first 2 groups did. Making pretty solid contact with the pins early on were the first 2 groupings. Not the case, though, in this Group C. One completely missed, but got away with 16 points. The other, not a super solid contact, but all 21 pins are down. Here's the Snow Wolves, and they put up 20. So the Snow Wolves in a strong position. The Lynx Roughus, they are going to be eliminated here in the group stage. Flush is officially in, and it will come down to the Snow Wolves 20 points. Can't do a whole lot better than that, so they are in a pretty good spot, but you've seen it's not impossible to score these strikes, for lack of a better term, as the Speedy Hunters will try to do just that and advance into the semifinal, and they'll come up just short. 19 points on the board, not good enough. As we look at the replay and see where could that last pin have come from. Oh, wow, you can see the one that's on the left there kind of wiggled a little bit. Couldn't get it done, and so the Flush and the Snow Wolves advance to the semifinal. And this will bring up our final group. Here is Oris 1. And they knock down all 21. A pretty common theme. Seems as though it's not too incredibly difficult to hit them all, which means that you might get a time tiebreaker at some point later on here. And that one looked very similar to the first 21 we scored at the beginning of this matchup, and that was a pretty solid one there from Oris 1. That will bring up now Onyx. And they put up 18 points. Left 3 on. A little bit off to the right side. That was perfect location in terms of height, where you want to put that in between the first and second level seems to be the way to go. But off to the right side caused a little bit of a problem. They moved to 18 points. Here are the Blue Jackets. Looked like they were moving a little slow there. Yeah. No, actually, in fact, they had the fastest run. Guess it just looked a little strange there, and they put it right in the middle. Put up 21. They are in now because of that time tiebreaker, so Oris 1 is not technically in. Onyx is out. And now it'll be up to the Sphery Spiders to determine our last member of the semifinals. They're going to knock down 17, and I don't think they hit any of the pins either. Yeah, again, they make contact with that surface that's holding up the pins, and the vibrations there, able to knock down a few, but not enough. And so we will not see somebody that knocks down all the pins not advance. It got close there at the end. If they had knocked all of them down, somebody was going to not fail at all, but yet not make it into the next round. As our semifinals are set now, Group D advances Oris 1 and the Blue Jackets. There are the semifinals, A and B. And so the semifinals begin again where we started the first round with the Archangels. They're off and running, and they put up 20. You can see that one lone pin that stayed up had a little bit of a hard time remaining on the platform there. In fact, it looked like it was off just a little bit, but not enough to be able to, yeah, as you can see there, not enough to be able to actually knock it off. And so they put up 20. Here are the Janitors who had the first 21, and they just missed. Happens for the second time. A complete whiff from the Janitors, who were so strong in their first group matchup. Let's see, how close was it? Not very close at all, it seems. Hard to tell the depth perception there, but it looked like they may have just missed it pretty badly. Here's the Steel Brothers. They put up 21 as well, and they'll put up 19 this time. So that will move the Archangels into the final. First team to go will seemingly be the first team to go all the way into the final. As they advance with a score of 20, the Steel Brothers are in a strong position, but certainly not guaranteed. Here's Swiftblade. Let's see what they can do. They need a big score, and they get it! 21 for Swiftblade. They're advancing. The Archangels pass with 20, and it's a score of 19 for the Steel Brothers, but they are not going to advance into the final. Swiftblade left one on the platform there, but what you need to do is knock it off, in terms of, or knock it over, I guess I should say, and that's what they did. It was laying on its side, so it counts as a point. Either way, they would have advanced, but Swiftblade is through. Into our second semifinal, we begin with the Snow Wolves, and they put up 21, another strong run. And perfectly done. That is where you want to go, in the middle of the either bottom row or right in between the first and second levels. There is really where you want to be. Let's see what Flush can do to try to answer that score of 21. They went a little bit too high. They'll pick up 18. The Snow Wolves are through, and you can see, like I said, you want to be between levels 1 and 2. Meanwhile, they're all the way up there in between levels 4 and 5. That's pretty high. And in fact, that's a pretty good score for how high of a contact location that was for flush. But they do put up 18. Not a bad score at all. Here's Oris 1. See what they can do. And they're going to put up 20. So that will eliminate flush. The Snow Wolves are through. And yeah, just left one on there. Will that come back to haunt Oris 1? We'll find out. The Blue Jackets hope it does. And it will! The Blue Jackets put them all down, and they advance to the final. They will join the Snow Wolves out of Semifinal B. And it is the one pin that Oris 1 left on the board that will come back to haunt them, as they will finish in the second grouping, unable to get to the finals. That is a disappointing end for Oris 1, and in just such a disappointing fashion. So the Snow Wolves and the Blue Jackets advancing into the final here of target shooting. Been a very up and down. We've seen a lot of 21s. We've seen a couple of zeros. Here's the Archangels, and they will put up a modest 17. I don't think that's good enough, to be honest with you. Certainly not going to be enough to win it for the Archangels. See if they can maybe place on the podium for second or third. Obviously, there's that awkward fourth-place finisher who gets to the final but doesn't get to be put on the podium there. Here is Swiftblade. They hope that they're not the one that has that happen, and they won't be. 21 for Swiftblade. They're in the driver's seat. And keep an eye on the time. Not the fastest time by any stretch. A 2:7.53. It was faster than the Archangels, but certainly not the fastest time we've seen. And it might come down to that if you get multiple that are going to score all 21. Let's see what the Snow Wolves do. Swiftblade trying to hold on to the lead. There is 20 points on the board. And Swiftblade remains in the lead. The Snow Wolves take over second. They guarantee themselves a podium finish. They will not win. And it looks like it was just a little bit too low and off to the right. And I think that it may have been... Yeah, it was one of those two pins that are right in the middle on the bottom row that stayed. Last hope is the Blue Jackets. Will it be Swiftblade or the Blue Jackets? They are off, and they missed it! And the Blue Jackets, with our third whiff of this tournament, it will cost them a spot on the podium. But they do finish fourth. The Archangels slide into a bronze. Silver for the Snow Wolves, and of course Swiftblade with a very strong statement. You see their fans are excited. Cheering section going crazy with the Swiftblade flags. Very nice touch there by that fan base. They were ready, hoping to see their team do well, and they did. Swiftblade wins event number 1, target shooting of the 2021 Marble Champions. As you have a look at the results, Swiftblade, Snow Wolves, Archangels, Blue Jackets, Oris 1. The top 5 go all the way down to Patu Bola, who finishes last, does not score a point. Savage Jackal picked up just 1 point. Disappointing start. Here are the overall standings. Swiftblade, the Snow Wolves, the Archangels, the Blue Jackets, Oris 1, Steel Brothers, Flush, the Janitors, Trojans, Speedy Hunters. That's the top 10. Keep an eye on our podium finishes. Those will show up at the end of every event, showing you how many medals have been won, as well as how many first place finishes for our different teams. But ultimately, you want to have the most amount of points. We've seen that in previous events here on Marble Fubeca, different tournaments in which it's not necessarily just about wins, but it's about consistency. Congratulations to the Archangels. They finished third. A silver for the Snow Wolves, but today they all aspire to be Swiftblade. 20 points, a gold medal, and the lead in the championship standings. They are automatically now, after one event, they are the team to beat. One down. The anticipation and the nerves of opening week are through, and now these teams look to continue either a strong start or build on something that maybe wasn't the best start as we begin the real bulk of this schedule in the Marble Champions 2021. Hello again, friends. I'm Keanu Bitterzuki. Glad to be here on behalf of Marble Fubeca for today's event. This is our second event of the 2021 Marble Champions. A more traditional event, as you see the starting gates for this sprint-style event today. An opportunity for these teams to show off their speed after a little bit more skill and precision was needed in our first event. This one's pure speed. It's just a long sprint right in front of the home stretch, and all the fans in the stands. Glad to have them here as always. And there is the entire course. So the starting gate's up the front. On the left side, on the right side, you'll have the finishing gate. Here are the overall standings after one event. Swiftblade won our opening event, so they are in the lead with 20 points, leading by 3 over the Snow Wolves, who took silver, and the Archangels, who took a bronze, leading the group. But everybody really still in it after just one event. The teams are ready. The fans are ready. Are you ready? This is event number 2 of the 2021 Marble Champions. This is the sprint race. So again, as you see, this course, typically you'll see winds and curves and different obstacles for these marbles to avoid. That is not the case today. All about pure speed. Here are the groupings for today's event. Different groups. The style will work the same. Top 2 from each group will advance to the semifinals. Top 2 from each semifinal will advance into our finale. We'll start with Group A. They are the Steel Brothers, Tatu Bola, Snow Wolves, and Flush. And they come out of the gates. Here we go. And out in front, it looks like it's Flush and Steel Brothers coming across the line. Steel Brothers takes the lead, and Flush takes the second advancement place. They get the transfer spot over the Snow Wolves, who finish third. Tatu Bola finishes in last in that grouping, and so they will not advance. You can see Flush in the green. Look like they got out to the lead at first. Those are the silver marbles of the Steel Brothers. Not surprising based on the name. And there is the pass for the lead right at the end. A little bit of contact between the top 2 finishers. Let's have a look. And everything within at least a marble length there. Nothing too crazy. And so the Flush and the Steel Brothers will advance into the first semifinal out of Group A. Group B, the Janitors, the Sphery Spiders, the Archangels, and the Savage Jackal. They release, and right now it looks like it's the Savage Jackal in the lead, followed by the Sphery Spiders. But here come the Janitors, and did the Savage Jackal advance? They did. They just beat out the Archangels. And the Janitors come from behind after running in 3rd or 4th for the majority of that short sprint. Let's see where that run happens. They run the fastest time so far at a 4:9.45. Yeah, they just picked up a lot of speed toward the end. How close was it for second? Looks like it was pretty close. Pretty close all the way around. With the exception really of 4th place. Looked like the Sphery Spiders weren't really in it as much as the other 3, but that was a tight run there. And so the Janitors and the Savage Jackal advance into the semifinal. They will take on Flush and the Steel Brothers. Moving to Group C, this is the Vikings, the Trojans, the Onyx, and the Oris 1. They come out of the gates, and it's the Trojans and the Vikings in the lead, and they look like they've got a pretty big lead. Yeah, it's just no matter who's going to win, it's the Trojans. Pretty significant there. That was over 0.2 of a second between 2nd and 3rd, and it was never close. Oris 1 finished 3rd, Onyx takes 4th, but neither will advance, obviously, through one of those transfer spots of the group stage. The Trojans led wire to wire there. The Vikings with a strong finish as well to take 2nd place, and they both advance into Semifinal B. And the final grouping will include Swiftblade, our points standings leader. Also the Lynx Rufus, Speedy Hunters, and the Blue Jackets. And they are off. Bad start for Swiftblade. It's the Speedy Hunters and the Blue Jackets. They will advance. Exactly 1/10 of a second between 2nd and 3rd. That was Swiftblade. And almost another full 10th back to the Lynx Rufus. They struggled. Let's have a look. It just looked like Lynx Rufus banging off the walls caused some problems. Side by side for the majority of the race for 1st place. But in these group stages, you only need to be 1st or 2nd. Wow, yeah, it was close coming across the line for who was going to win the stage or win the group staging here, but not close for who's going to advance. It was a pretty easy win there for the top 2. We have another look at it. Let's see, coming across the line. How close? Pretty close. And so that will move the Blue Jackets and the Speedy Hunters into Semifinal B. And here's the first semifinal. We go back to the Janitors, the Savage Jackal, the Steel Brothers, and Flush. The Janitors have the fastest time so far. Can they do it again? They are in the lead. Here is the Flush in second. Savage Jackal making a run. Cannot get it done. The Janitors and Flush advance. Savage Jackal and the Steel Brothers will have to settle for a 5th through 8th place finish. Savage Jackal made a run there. Yeah, the Janitors are they're pretty darn fast right now. It'd be interesting to see if they keep that through the final. If they do, there's nobody that's going to beat them. They have the most speed right now. To see if they're able to get a clean run in the final, because they're in, as are Flush. Savage Jackal made a strong run. Steel Brothers struggled, in fact, because they made contact there with the Janitors. They never crossed the finish line. So the Janitors and Flush are into the final. And now Semifinal B. With the Trojans, the Speedy Hunters, the Blue Jackets, and the Vikings. There we go. And right now it's the Vikings and the Blue Jackets in the lead. Here come the Trojans. They're going to take over second place. They're going to get it done at the line. And that was the fastest time. Yeah, the Vikings just ran a faster time than the Janitors did in the first round, which was the fastest time to that point. A 4.658 is the best time now of this event, and it belongs to the Vikings, and they do it en route to a semifinal win and an advancement into the final, and did it by a pretty large margin. Second place was pretty close. The Trojans got it done, and so they get to fight for a win here in the sprint race. Blue Jackets were close, but just could not get enough at the end. So moving into the final, here we go. Flush, Trojans, the Janitors, and the Vikings. And they're off. And if it's not the Janitors or the Trojans, it'd be a shock. They are side by side, cutting in front, and getting the win are the Janitors. Unbelievable move. Shut the door. Have another look at it, and that was a great move by the Janitors. Pretty strong run by Flush as well to stay up there with those top two that clearly had the speed. Almost looked like there was some drafting going on as Flush tried to go from one side to another. And watch right here. You can see cutting a little bit farther in front, just clearing the Trojans. And that's where the Janitors make their move, shut the door, and will win this one. Boy, that was an unbelievable move. We'll see it again from this angle. I mean, you just can't do it better than that. So the Janitors get the win and do it with 1 speed and 2. A great move to make sure that they stayed in front of the Trojans. They are the winners of event number 2, the sprint race. And congratulations to them. A huge win for them and a show that clearly the Janitors have speed. And so you better watch out if you're doing a speed event here in the Marble Champions League in 2021, because the Janitors may just be the team to beat if that's the case. Great run by them. They'll make their way up to the podium as well as our 2nd and 3rd place finishers. But they're the ones that get the big trophy. Look at the overall standings from today. The results, the Janitors pick up 20 points with that win. The Trojans finish 2nd, Flush 3rd, Vikings 4th, and the Savage Jackal 5th. Go all the way down to Onyx, Lynx Rufus, and Tatu Bola, who finish in the final last 3 positions. In fact, that 4th last position was actually Swiftblade. So Swiftblade's going to drop to 4th. The Janitors take a 4-point lead. It's a tie for 2nd between the Trojans and Flush. They each have a medal. Gold for the Janitors as they get it done today. And get it done in pretty impressive fashion. It was a show of speed and a show of precision as well at the end, with that move to cut in front of the Trojans and not allow any kind of last-second shenanigans from them. So they get the win. Congratulations to Flush. They pick up 24 points with a 3rd place finish. Or they're now sitting at 24 points, with a 3rd place finish. So are the Trojans after a 2nd place finish. They're now at 24 points. Both are tied for second, but all today, they all aspire to be After an event all about speed, we shift our focus back to the skill as we begin event number 3 of the 2021 Marble Champions League. Hello again, friends. Keanu Bittersiki, glad to be here on behalf of Marble Fubeca for today's event. Our grand arena once again today, as we are 2 events through, and now just one speed event and 1 skill event. We should go back to the skill side of things. There's the cup that they'll be fighting for today and throughout the remainder of this season. Let's have a look at how the teams are doing so far. Right now, the overall leaders are the Janitors by 4 points over the Trojans and Flush. Swiftblade, after a win in event number 1, has dropped to 4th. The Janitors are the leaders. They are ready. The teams are ready. The fans are ready. Let's do it. It's event number 3 of the 2021 Marble Champions. This is the soccer dribble. As you have a look at this soccer field down there with the Marble Champions and Marble Fubeca logo, and there are some obstacles to navigate. A couple of goals down at the end, and we'll see what this event is all about. As you can see there, got some scoring opportunities. You know how it works in terms of the setup for today's tournament. As always here in the Marble Champions League, the groupings change, so there are the groups for you. We begin with Group A, which is the Vikings, the Lynx Roughest, the Blue Jackets, and the Steel Brothers. They are off, and we'll see who can get through. And a couple of goals, maybe. There's one, and another! And the Vikings score at the very end. They advance, as do the Steel Brothers. Lynx Roughest and the Blue Jackets, they were the first to get down, but they do not score a goal. And they are eliminated with 2 and 1 points respectively, as you see them go down on either side right there. Have a look. Easy goal for the Steel Brothers, and a little bit of a knock there from the goalie. Almost cost the Vikings their goal. But they are able to advance, as well as the Steel Brothers, into the first semifinal. And here's Group B. This is Tatu Bola, Snow Wolves, the Janitors, and the Speedy Hunters. So our leaders are a part of this group. Let's see where the scoring goes, and nobody will score a goal. The Snow Wolves picked up 4. The Speedy Hunters pick up 2. And so the Janitors are championship leaders, as well as Tatu Bola. They are eliminated here in the group stage. Let's have another look and see how it happened. You can see up at the top of the screen there, even coming out of the lines there. Not a good run at all for the Janitors. Not really a good run for anybody. Nobody got close to a goal whatsoever. But good enough for the Snow Wolves and the Speedy Hunters. They are advancing into Semifinal A. And so the group stage moves to Group C, which consists of the Savage Jackal, the Trojans, the Onyx, and the Flush. And let's see what happens. Do we have a goal? Oh, we almost did. The Onyx picked up 2, nearly scored a goal. They'll still advance, as do the Savage Jackal. And the Trojans, by way of the time that it took them to score, are going to be eliminated after a 3-way tie with 2 points. The Trojans did it in the slowest time, as we'll see here on the replay, and so it will cost them their opportunity to advance into the next round. For what it's worth, they were significantly slower, so at least it wasn't a close one there, but still a disappointing end for the Trojans, and in the Flush, unable to advance as well, as we make our way to the final group, including our first event winner. That's Swiftblade. The rest of the group, Oris 1, the Sphery Spiders, and the Archangels. And will we get a goal? The goalkeeper's going to block that shot. The Archangels will not score. They're eliminated, as are Swiftblade, Oris 1, and Sphery Spiders. They're advancing from Group D. How about that move from the goaltender there? Not allowing the Archangels to score, which would have almost guaranteed, even if they had not gone in the goal, they probably would have scored right off to the side, which was 4 points, would have advanced. Instead, the Archangels unable to score. Wow. And so they are eliminated, as are Swiftblade. And so therefore, Swiftblade and the Janitors both eliminated in this group stage. We will, for the 3rd time, have a different winner here through 3 events. Moving on to the semifinals. First semifinal, it's the Speedy Hunters, the Snow Wolves, the Vikings, the Steel Brothers. 2 advance. Here's a 2. There's an 8. There's a goal. 2 on the side, let's see, 2 in the middle, and it will cost the Speedy Hunters. So the Steel Brothers, who got down there the fastest by a pretty significant margin, almost a full second ahead of anybody else, and they were, what was that, somewhere around the 4-second range higher than any of the other 3 that scored 2 points. There was their 2, there was the goal, and then the last 2 both scoring 2 points, one all the way on the bottom of the screen. There it is. Other right through the middle, made contact with the post, and it costs the Speedy Hunters. So the Vikings and the Steel Brothers both out of Group A, advancing into the finals, and the 2 members from Group B to advance done in the semifinal. Here is Semifinal B. Onyx, Savage Jackal, Oris 1, and the Series Spiders. They go down hectically. There's 2, another 2, another 2, and a 1. Onyx, the last of the 2s to get down, they're eliminated, as are the Savage Jackal, the only team not to score 2. They put up just 1 point, and so Oris 1 and the Series Spiders advancing into the final for today's event. Again, not super close. In fact, it was the Onyx who were the slowest, despite the fact that they'll finish ahead of the Savage Jackal because they did score more points there. And so the final is set. The Vikings, the Steel Brothers, the Series Spiders, and the Onyx. As you have a look at the crowd for these 4 teams, hoping to see something amazing. So here we go. Vikings, Steel Brothers, Series Spiders, Oris 1 for the win. Here we go. Who's first down? It might be the Steel Brothers. They've got 2. There's a 3 and a win for Oris 1. They were the slowest, but they score the most. Just got it done at the end. A silver for the Steel Brothers. The Vikings, by virtue of time, pick up the bronze, and the Series Spiders will finish in 4th. In today's event, there are the fans. Congratulations to them as Oris 1 advances all the way through and wins this one. Just barely advancing out of the second semifinal. Let's have a look at the replay here, and you can see they're not the fastest, although they weren't the slowest to begin with. Once that contact was made, really slowed them down. There's a lot of contact there with the Series Spiders as well. And right there, that contact made with that orange marker may have been the one to kind of set them up for that success. And there they go with the win, across the line, 3 points, and a victory. So congratulations to them, as Oris 1 becomes our 3rd different winner through 3 events. An interesting event here with the soccer dribble. Have a look at our fans again in attendance for today's event, and in just a second we'll have a look at the standings, see where it looked first at the results of today's events, and then what that does with the overall standings of this tournament, the 2021 Marble Champions League. And here are the results from today. So Oris 1 gets the win, the Steel Brothers 2nd, Vikings 3rd, Series Spiders 4th, and Onyx picked up the 5th place. All the way down through the rest of that crowd, here are the overall standings. Oris 1 and the Steel Brothers now in a tie for the lead. The Snow Wolves are 3rd, the Vikings are 4th. The Janitors dropped from 1st to 5th after failing to get out of the group stage today, and so they have work to do. As you have a look at the podium today, 31 points now after that 3rd place finish, 31 points on the season for the Vikings, and a tie atop the standings between our top 2 finishers from today's event, the Steel Brothers at 35 points, and Oris 1 at 35 points. Congratulations to both of those teams, but today everybody aspires to be Oris 1, as they're the winners of event number 3 of the 2021 Marble Champions League here on Marble Fubeca. They will look to continue that momentum and now maybe break a tie for that lead, as it is definitely heating up as we get closer and closer to the really meat of this schedule, and then later on throughout the rest of it. We are 3 events in to the 2021 Marble Champions League, and it is anybody's game as we begin event number 4. This is mini golf. Welcome everybody into today's event. I'm Keanu Beardsley, glad to be here with you for today's event, presented always by Marble Fubeca here as we look inside our grand arena. As always, large gathering of fans supporting their teams, all going for that cup right there in the middle of today's event. And there are the overall standings on your side. It's a two-way tie between Oris 1 and the Steel Brothers at 35 points. Third place is the Snow Wolves. The Vikings are fourth. The Janitors and the Trojans are tied for fifth, after the Janitors were in the lead going into the last event. They failed to make it to the group stage, and so they fall back a little bit. Today's event, mini golf. Really an interesting one. The teams are ready. The fans are ready. Are you ready? This is event number 4 of the 2021 Marble Champions. Welcome to mini golf. You see our greens, if you will. Point variations depending on where you're going to finish here. And of course, some distance will factor in as well. There's the Plinko board style obstacle at the beginning of this course, just out of the starting gate. You'll make your way down through a couple of funnels and through as you have a look at the groups for today's event. As always in the Marble Champions League, the groups change from event to event. We'll start with Group A today. It's Flush, Lynx Rufus, the Archangels, and Swiftblade, and they are off. And the first one down, there's 4 points. There is 7. Let's see what happens with the last one. The Archangels, they will not score. Lynx Rufus picks up 7 points with a distance of 84. 4 more points, as we'll have a look at the replay here. For Flush, they're the two to advance. The Archangels and Swiftblade failing to score here. Again, points above all else. You see the first one down were Flush, and they took advantage of it, scoring 4 points, just missing the 2 were Swiftblade. Either way, it would not have been enough, as the 7 points and the 4 from Lynx Rufus and Flush were enough to get them through to the next round. So they're advancing to the first semifinal, and they will take on the 2 advancers from our second group, Group B today. Again, you have a winner of the group stage, and then you also have a transfer spot, able to advance 2 teams. Here's Group B, the Sphery Spiders, the Savage Jackal, the Blue Jackets, and one of our leaders, the Steel Brothers. They are down. We have a 10. We might have another 10. Close to it is the Savage Jackal. They'll fall back. They will not score, but they will advance as the Sphery Spiders pick up 10 points. And the Savage Jackal, by way of distance, are going to advance over the Steel Brothers and the Blue Jackets, who struggled mightily. You can see them all the way back at the initial M at the beginning of the green period. The greens were not kind that time to the Blue Jackets. Let's have a look at the replay and see what happened. The Sphery Spiders had an uninterrupted view of the 10 points. They score it there. The Sphery Spiders didn't quite score, but you can see there, almost had it. But they finished with enough distance to advance into our first semifinal. So the Savage Jackal through, as are the Sphery Spiders, who dominated. And here into Group C, it's the Vikings, one of our leaders, Oris 1, the Trojans, and the Onyx. Strong grouping here. There's 4 points. There's a 10. Let's see what happens at the end. That looks like 7 more. And no score from Onyx, so they will not advance. Neither will Oris 1. The Trojans pick up 7 to advance, and the Vikings, a second straight team to score all 10 points in this group stage, as they go a distance of 135, scoring 10 points and advancing into Semifinal B. We'll have another look at it here. You can see everybody kind of slowly made their way down the Plinko board. And again, first one out, uninterrupted view of the longest target, and it was a perfect shot from the Vikings to score those 10 points. The Trojans rolled into a 7, which bests Oris 1's 4. No points for Onyx, so they were an automatic out essentially there as we make our way into our final group. This first portion of each tournament, the group stage, dropping our teams from the 16 that we start with down to 8, and then the 4 into the finale. Group D will have some at the top, some at the bottom. The Janitors, who have an event win and were very strong, drop back to 5th, and then all the way down to Tatu Bola. They're the worst team out there as well, the Snow Wolves and the Speedy Hunters. The Speedy Hunters are close. They will not get enough distance, though, to score. The Janitors and Tatu Bola advancing the Speedy Hunters, and the Snow Wolves will not advance through this group stage, as they will place in toward the bottom of the standings for today's event. Let's have a look, and let's see what Tatu Bola, the tan marble, can do here. Oh man, almost lipped into a 2 and ricocheted right into a 7, and the 8 points scored there from the Janitors. So pretty strong run, and then the other two unable to even score any points whatsoever, let alone trying to advance. Pretty easy win there. An advancement for those two teams, as you have a look now at our full semifinals, A and B. And the other 8 teams that do not advance from the group stage, so they fall into that bottom tier as we move into the first semifinal. Savage, Jackals, Fury, Spiders, Lynx, Rufus, and Flush. Let's see who will advance into the finale. There's a 7, there's another 7. Do we get more points? No, the Savage Jackal and the Sphery Spiders cannot score. Lynx, Rufus, and Flush advancing. And you can see here, as you look at the replay, they had a chance. The two that were unable to score had their opportunity. There's an easy 7 and another easy 7, but right there, if it was a little bit stronger, the Savage Jackal had a chance. Even on a ricochet, potentially maybe 8 points could have gone for the Sphery Spiders, so they had an opportunity as well. But neither could score, and so they automatically unable to advance here. Which means that our first half of the finale is set. You see it on the big board. As we get ready for Semifinal B. And here they are. Tatu Bola, the Janitors, the Vikings, and the Trojans. This is a pretty heavy metal group here. There is 10 points for the Janitors. Does anybody else score? The answer is no from both the Trojans and Tatu Bola. All the way down at the bottom, though, 4 points for the Vikings. They sneak through to the finale. Not a strong run at all for the Vikings. They only went a distance of 54, but they were able to score, which is ultimately that tiebreaker. That's what you want to do, is score points first of all. The Janitors score 10 easily, but nothing from the Trojans or Tatu Bola. They will fail to advance into the final. I said it was easy, but it didn't look actually that easy on the replay there for the Janitors. They had to work for with a couple of ricochets to get those 10 points and advance into the finale. So great job by them, and doing just enough for the Vikings to advance into the final, giving themselves a chance to maybe redeem not a great semifinal run there, but a chance to advance into the final and maybe redeem themselves with a win or a strong showing in the final, as they'll join Lynx, Rufus, Flush, and the Janitors. They are ready to go. Here is the finale of mini golf, and they are off. First one down is going to be the Lynx Rufus. They are up there. Let's see if we get any scoring. We might not get any. Here's an 8 for Flush, and it's going to do it. Flush is going to win. They're the only team to score. They take the gold. And by way of distance, it's a silver for the Lynx Rufus, bronze for the Vikings, and the Janitors, who end up way back at the front of the green, they will finish in 4th. They do not medal after making it into the final, but a strong bounce back for them. Let's have a look at the replay. It was nearly a complete shutout, which we haven't seen at all. This is the first time we've seen 3 fail to score. You can see just a denial there from the flag in the hole of the 2. And let's have a look at a couple of bouncing around and a helpful spin there, a little bit of a twirl from Flush to get into the 8-hole and advance, or I guess not advance, but rather win themselves a gold medal. So Flush really showed themselves to be productive today. They are the winners. Lynx Rufus, the Janitors, and the Vikings all unable to score in the final round, and so they shuffle out based on distance. Here are the results from today's event. 20 points to Flush. Lynx Rufus picks up 17, 15 for the Vikings. The Janitors finish 4th, and the Sphery Spiders, off of the tiebreakers there, will finish in 5th, all the way down to the Blue Jackets, who finish in last in today's event. As we have a look at the overall standings, new leader, it is Flush. They pick up their first gold. They become the 4th different winner in 4 events, and they take a 1-point lead over the Vikings, who have not won a gold. They haven't won a silver, but they've won 2 out of the 4 bronzes, so they move into 2nd place with 46 points. And as we are 4 events in, things start to get a little more interesting, and not necessarily clearer as you would expect, but rather a little foggier as we go further into this event. 3rd place goes to the Vikings. Congratulations to them. Congrats to the Lynx Roughest. They pick up a 2nd place victory, and they now have 46 points. But today, everybody aspires to be flush, not only because they won, but because they also take over 1st place overall in the standings. So congratulations to them, as we are now 4 events into the 2020. 4 different events and 4 different winners in the 2021 Marble Champions League so far. This season could not be more wide open as we get into event number 5 of this season. Glad to be here again, folks. Keanu Bittersiki for Marble Fubeca. Everybody competing again for that cup as always, as we have a look inside of our gigantic stadium. Here's the overall standings. Flush after getting their first gold. Our 4th different winner in 4 events. They hold a 1-point lead over the Vikings, who have not placed better than 3rd, but they've done it twice. They're the only team to medal in the same spot multiple times so far this year, earning a couple of bronzes, and that has moved them just 1 single point behind the lead. As you have a look at our course for today's event, very similar to our event from last time. Have that Plinko style board. Should be a fun one. The teams are ready, the fans are ready. Are you ready? This is event number 5 of the 2021 Marble Champions League. This is Pinball. Have a look at our groupings here for today's event. As you know by now, each event has different groups, still the same style, groups A, B, C, and D. Top 2 from each will advance to the semifinals. Top 2 from each semifinal make it to the finale. Groups change every time. We will start with Group A, which today is the Steel Brothers, the Janitors, the Leaders, the Flush, and the Snow Wolves. Down they go, making their way. And let's see what the scoring ends up as. You get scores based off of where you're hitting. And you can see there, it's based off of how far you're going. And then if you land in those certain big spots there, that's going to either increase or decrease your score. The Steel Brothers and the Janitors advance. Let's have a look again. And as we kind of make our way through this course and kind of figure out exactly how it's going to run, have a look at the replay and see how we got to where we got. So you can see there, they're going to ricochet off of those barriers in the middle. You want to avoid those negatives and maybe land on the positives if you can. The Flush scored 79 points because of the distance they went. So they're eliminated. As were the Snow Wolves there. So the Steel Brothers and the Janitors advance. So that first group kind of showing you exactly how this is going to happen. The rest of the groups know exactly what to do now. You want to get as far as possible. Group B is Swiftblade, the Sphery Spiders, the Trojans, and the Blue Jackets. Down they go. Looks like a big opportunity for the Blue Jackets. They kind of have an issue. And in the corner, we're going to have a couple of scores that will be good. It'll be Swiftblade with 113, the Trojans with 111. They're advancing as the Blue Jackets and the Sphery Spiders are eliminated. It's about as far as you can go for Swiftblade and the Trojans. And you can't go a whole lot less than the Sphery Spiders did. Nobody landing in either a positive or negative spot. So it's really just based off of how far each marble able to carry its distance. And so far, that's worked out for Swiftblade and the Trojans. Hard contact there for the Sphery Spiders directly into one of those pylons there, and that really stalled any momentum whatsoever. Caused them not only to not advance, but rather to finish in last. So a disappointment for them. They will not advance. And our first semifinal is set up as Swiftblade and the Trojans advance from Group B. Group C today is the Vikings, Tatu Bola, Onyx, and Oris 1. First one down are going to be the Vikings. Can they do something? Yes, they can. Looks like a pretty strong run everywhere. Is there a plus 20? Not quite. And did the the Vikings, did they advance? The answer is no. Tatu Bola with 110 points, 108 for Onyx. They advance over the Vikings, 107. Wow, what a crazy round that one is. Incredibly close. A little bit too much in terms of speed there, it looks like, from the Vikings. Actually ends up costing them as at the end there. You can see there's the pass made at the last moment. Boy, is that close. Just enough to eliminate the Vikings and advance the Onyx. They're into the second semifinal. And our final group today, Group D, as always, you know that. Well, today, Group D is going to consist of the Savage Jackal, the Lynx Rufus, the Speedy Hunters, and the Archangels. And let's see what happens. Looks like a couple of hard contacts made. Uh-oh, maybe a negative 40 for the Savage Jackal. Is it enough to keep them alive? The answer might be yes. Let's have a look. It is. So a loss of 40 points for the Savage Jackal because of where they landed. It's still enough for them to advance. They beat out the Archangels 65-51. Lynx Rufus scores 113. And they advanced pretty easily anyway. It was a score of 105 for the Savage Jackal before you take away the 40 that they lost. As you have a look at the replay here, not close for the Speedy Hunters, ran directly into a pylon. Let's look there. A little bit of contact, in fact. It was the Lynx Rufus that kind of sent the Savage Jackal into that negative 40 spot, but they were able to hold on. Despite losing 40 points, they still advanced by 14 into the second semifinal. So our semifinals are set, 8 teams down, 8 teams to go. And the first semifinal here, Swiftblade, the Trojans, the Janitors, and the Steel Brothers. Janitors have been a strong competitor. Can they continue that here? Top to advance. Let's see. Might have some scoring. There's a negative 25. It's going to go back. Maybe they'll pick up plus 30. Will they? The answer is no. But it's still enough to get it done. The Steel Brothers passed the Janitors at the last moment. They advanced to the final, joining the Trojans, who scored 113. 94 for the Steel Brothers. They beat them out by 7 points over the Janitors. 43 way back with Swiftblade. We'll have a look at the replay here and kind of see what happened with Swiftblade. Yep, pretty hard contact there with that first pylon. And boy, I'll tell you what, the Janitors and the Steel Brothers all over plussing and minusing their scores. Ultimately, neither landed on a bonus or a negative. And it just happened to be a last-minute pass by the Steel Brothers to advance to the final. So how about that one? As again, there's a good chance we're going to end up with a first-time winner. Swiftblade, the Janitors, Horus 1, and Flush are the winners through our first 4 events. And so there's a pretty good chance with what we're looking at that you're going to end up with, again, another first-time winner through these 5 events. Here's Semifinal B. Onyx, Savage Jackal, Lynx Rufus, Tatu Bola. Who will advance? Hard contact a couple of times there. All the way back, maybe a negative 40 going to come and play. How about that move by Onyx? They will get it done. 113. The Savage Jackal with a score of 112, another strong run for them. Again, they lost that 40 points in their group stage, but again, a strong run down all the way to the end. Tatu Bola scores over 100, yet they failed to advance with a score of 101, and the Lynx Rufus struggling there. They scored just 40 points, and so an easy maybe an easier pill to swallow there. They almost landed on the spot that automatically eliminates you. But either way, they were done, and pretty significantly. They were over 70 points behind the next closest, or behind where they needed to be to try to advance into the final. So the Trojans, the Steel Brothers, the Onyx, and the Savage Jackal, we will have another first-time winner in event number 5 of the 2021 Marble Champions League. There are the winners. See it up on your screen there. And here we go, the finale. The Trojans trying to get it done. They have been successful mostly throughout this year, but they have not had a win. And they're not going to get it here. Who will? Is it the Savage Jackal? Here come the Onyx at the last moment. They are going to run out of room, and it's the Savage Jackal that will win it with 105 points. The Steel Brothers take silver by a single point. 104 for them. Bronze goes to the Onyx. They pick up 98 points, and the Trojans struggling there in the finale. They score just 49. They'll take 4th place in today's event. Let's have a look at the replay and see how it shook out. Got pretty close there at the end. For a second, I thought the Onyx might pull it out and just roll their way to a victory. In fact, they made pretty hard contact with that middle pylon there, but still able to just have a solid, slow roll. The Savage Jackal very nearly landed again in the negative 40 spot, which would have cost them. But ultimately, just not enough speed there from the Onyx Marble to be able to continue past the 100 part. So the Savage Jackal, they are the winners. Congratulations to them. They become our 5th different winner in 5 different events, as they win Pinball here, event number 5 of the 2021 Marble Champions League. Congratulations to them. Up on your screen now, the results from today's event. They pick up 20 points. The Steel Brothers finish 2nd, Onyx 3rd, Trojans 4th, Tatu Bola kind of picking it up here as they finish in 5th, all the way down to the Sphery Spiders. They do not pick up a point after finishing in last in the overall standings now for the season. After we calculate in today's event, the Steel Brothers, they retake the lead, and it's a 3-point advantage over the Vikings. Let's see what we can get from the Savage Jackal. They move up to 6th. They're just 6 points behind. But it's the Steel Brothers, the Vikings, and the Flush right now all atop the leaderboard in what is still a very tight, very wide open competition. Congrats to the Onyx after a 3rd place finish. They get up to 38 points. Still a long way to go for them, but they're getting a little bit better. The Steel Brothers, after another silver, they are now your overall standings leaders. But today, everybody aspires to be the Savage Jackal. They get the win with a gold medal performance in Pinball. And they put themselves maybe in the driver's seat to get further up the leaderboard. We are through 5 events now, and the front-runners and competitors for this championship making their way clear in the 2021 Marble Champions League. Glad to have you here again on Marble Fubeca. I'm Keanu Bitterzaki as we get ready for event number 6 of our series. We're going to look at our championship standings on your screen. The Steel Brothers have moved into first place despite not winning. 2 silvers have gotten them to 56 points. 2 bronzes for the Vikings. They're just 3 points behind. Interesting note, but the Flush and the Janitors are the first 2 teams that have a first place win, but they sit 4 points behind our current leaders. So getting a win in an event not necessarily going to guarantee that you're going to have success overall in these championship standings, and ultimately that's what you're looking for as you are looking at the screen and you see the course for today's event. The teams are ready, the fans are ready. Are you ready? This is event number 6 of the 2021 Marble Champions League. This is Marble Tennis. As you have a look at our bracket for today's event, as you know, A, B, C, and D groupings, top 2 will advance. You see the groups for today's specific event. As we have a look at our tennis court, going to look to score the most points that you can. You have to get through this large structure here, coming directly out of a funnel early on. Here's Group A. It's Oris 1, the Sphery Spiders, the Speedy Hunters, and the Blue Jackets, and they are off. First through looks like it's Oris 1 and then the Sphery Spiders, and the other 2 having a hard time getting through that funnel as the first 2 are through, down onto the course. A 4 and a 3 for the Oris 1 and the Sphery Spiders. Here come the Blue Jackets and the Speedy Hunters, see what they can muster up. And doesn't look like either is going to score. They will not. The Blue Jackets and the Sphery Spiders, the Blue Jackets and the Speedy Hunters eliminated. A 4 for Oris 1 and a 3 for the Sphery Spiders. Scoring early ends up being enough as they advance into our first semifinal. Wow, look at that, some contact there with that net, which could have caused a real issue for the Sphery Spiders, but they're able to get over and have a clear run. 4 and 3, the 2 opening scores. That's the best you can do. 4 and 3, not too shabby either. So Oris 1 and the Sphery Spiders, they are through to the first semifinal. As we have a look at Group B in today's event, and they are the Steel Brothers, the Savage Jackal, the Lynx Ruffish, and the Flush. First one down, looks like it's the Savage Jackal and then the Lynx Ruffish. Steel Brothers and Flush with a slow run early on. Savage Jackal, can they score? They do, they put up 3. There is 2, and I think another 3 for the Steel Brothers. Hard to see where they came out. They do pick up 3, and a 3 as well for the Lynx, or for the Flush, but they, due to their time, are going to be eliminated. So 3 3s and a 2. The Savage Jackal and the championship leader, the Steel Brothers, able to advance from this first grouping. You can see there is the first 3, and it was a pretty significant run, almost over 2 full seconds in between the first and second finishers. That was actually the Lynx Ruffish who were the second fastest, and then the Steel Brothers just behind them, followed by the Flush, who picked up 3 points, but not enough because of their difficult time getting down the court. So it's a speed, both a combination of speed and of point scoring potentially. So the Savage Jackal and the Steel Brothers, they are through into Semifinal A. Now let's meet the Group C competitors. It's the Trojans, the Archangels, the Onyx, and the Vikings. Vikings, as we mentioned, they are the second running team, but they're having a hard time getting through that funnel, as is Onyx. Here come the Trojans and the Archangels, and 3 for the Trojans. The Archangels are not going to score. That's going to open up the door for the Onyx and for the Vikings. That's 3 for the Onyx. You're going to need a 4 out of the Vikings. They put up just 2. And the Vikings going home with a slow run and not able to score enough. The Trojans picked up 3. Onyx gets it done with 3 points as well. After the door was opened by the Archangels failing to score, they never really made contact with any of the openings there. Maybe right there, may have made some contact with the opening of the 2. That wouldn't have been enough anyway. And the Vikings very nearly didn't score, but even with the score that they did get, not enough. They needed a 4 because of their time in order to advance. They can't get it done. The Trojans and the Onyx are into the second semifinal. As we meet our final group today, it's the Snow Wolves, Tattoo Bola, Swiftblade, and the Janitors. The Janitors come out first. They're in the lead, followed by Tattoo Bola, then Swiftblade and the Snow Wolves. Here come the Janitors. What can they put up? Oh, there's a block ball, and they're both going to score 3. Going to need a 4. They're going to get a 4 from Swiftblade. Here come the Snow Wolves. If they can score 4, they will advance. Otherwise, it's over, and they put up 3. And so the Janitors are going to advance based on timing. Excuse me. They're going to rule Tattoo Bola out of this competition. Oh yeah, if you hit the net there, you're eliminated. You're disqualified. And so Tattoo Bola, despite putting up 3 points, they do not advance. Swiftblade, I don't think they wouldn't have advanced anyway because the Janitors were down before they were. But Swiftblade, you'll see the 4 points for them. Oh man, they made some contact there as well before they put up the 4 points. And so they advance. The Janitors advance as well, and the Snow Wolves put up 3, but they had to have 4 because, again, a slow run really puts you in a bind there of what you can do. You have to have high scores, or you at least have to better the score of whoever you're going up head-to-head with. You can't tie because that does not go your way. And so through are the Janitors. As we move into the semifinal here, Savage Jackal, Steel Brothers, Oris 1, Sphery Spiders. 2 spots in the finale on the line, and the first one through is going to be Oris 1, followed by the Savage Jackal. And the other 2 still struggling to get through. We've seen that happen quite a bit. First one down is Oris 1. They put up 3. Here comes 3 more for the Savage Jackal. They have set the stage as the other 2 make their way down. Looks like a problem for the Steel Brothers. They're not going to get anything. Here's a 2 for the Sphery Spiders. They will not do enough. And the championship leaders eliminated here in the semifinal as they got blocked by the Sphery Spiders. They failed to make it down the large course and onto the court. And so the Steel Brothers eliminated, and that will cost them by way of how many points they're going to earn because they didn't score anything, which is likely going to be a last place finish out of this grouping. And 3 was enough for both Oris 1 and the Savage Jackal to get it done. 2 would have been enough, in fact. All they had to do was score ultimately because of the slow run by the Sphery Spiders and a lack of score in general by the Steel Brothers. And here's a look at the replay where that happened. Oh, just a denial by the Sphery Spiders as they came down at the exact same time. But clearly the Sphery Spiders were carrying more momentum at that point. Blocked the Steel Brothers from having a chance to score, eliminates them. Ultimately, they're eliminated as well because they didn't score enough. They needed 4 points in order to advance. And so, Oris 1 and the Savage Jackal advancing into our finale. The Trojans, Onyx, Swiftblade, the Janitors all now looking for those final 2 spots. Let's see if the Janitors can come back. Who's going to get down first? It's the Trojans, then Onyx, followed by Swiftblade, and the Janitors in a precarious position. First one down is going to be the Trojans. What do they put up by score? That is 4 for the Trojans. And now another 4 and a 3. And the Janitors, although they're going to run this one out, they have no chance to win as 2 competitors score 4. They won't score at all. And so the Trojans and Onyx advance. Swiftblade puts up 3, but it's still not enough. After a couple of 4s, our first time with multiple teams scoring 4 in a single round. As you have a look at the replay, I mean, that's about as well as possible to get it done for the Trojans. And a couple of ricochets there helped out Onyx as they score 4 more points. And by the time the Janitors hit the course there, they really had no chance. They quite literally had no chance. Couldn't have gotten it done with 2 teams scoring 4 ahead of them. They ultimately don't score at all, which will hurt their chances in terms of where they're going to finish in this overall event standing. Into the final, the Trojans and the Onyx, and we have the finale set. Speed and scoring ability is going to come into play here. Trojans, Onyx, Oris, 1 Savage, Jackal. Let's do it. First one down are the Trojans. They've had a lot of success this season, and they are dominating this course right now, but they still have to score. Here they are onto the course. They're going to put up 4, and that's going to do it. Another 4 for Oris. 1 will give them second place. The Trojans win it. Here come the last 2. It's a 3 and nothing for the Savage Jackal as they will finish in last. You can give the gold to the Trojans, silver to the Onyx. Oris 1 picks up a bronze. As we have a look at the replay, and it was just an easy, quick one for the Trojans. They got through that funnel, as you can see, gaining that inside run. Looked like they actually may have hit something that may have helped them along the way there. They got down way before anybody else, a little bit of a swirl around effect for Oris 1, and they were already a couple of rungs below by the time that they had gotten through the funnel, and all the Trojans had to do was execute on the scoring, and you cannot execute better than that. 2 ricochets right into the 4-hole, and that's exactly what you needed to do. Not a bad job at all by Oris 1, as they rolled their way into a 4 and a guaranteed second place. And then at that point, it was all about who's going to pick up third place, and it was 3 points for Onyx. They got it done. No scoring from the Savage Jackal. They got really close to a 3, really close to a 2. Either way, they wouldn't have won it after the tiebreaker with the scoring going toward who was the fastest down. They had no chance to take that third place once somebody else had found the hole first. Here are the results overall from today's event. The Trojans take first, second place to Oris 1. Onyx takes third, Savage Jackal fourth, and Swiftblade picks up fifth there based on the way that they scored from the semifinal rounds. And our overall championship standings now, after 6 events, has the Trojans in the lead. They pick up their first goal. It's back and forth about as much as possible. It is, however, a 6-point lead over Oris 1, the Steel Brothers in third, Savage Jackal fourth, and the Janitors run in fifth, ahead of Flush, who are in sixth, as those overall standings may be spreading out a little bit now. A 7-point lead, about as big as we've seen from anybody in this event, really at any point in time in this championship series. A 7-point advantage now for the Trojans. As I said, they've had a lot of success this season, and finally they capitalize on it and take home a gold. Third place and a bronze goes to the Onyx. After that, they picked up 53 points. Second place in silver goes to Oris 1. They're at 65 points. But today, they all aspire to be the Trojans, a gold, and they take over first place in the championship standings. Six events through, and still anybody's game here in the 2021 Marble Champions League as we make our way to event number 7 here at our large stadium. Once again, packed with a ton of fans ready to watch the action today. Hello again, friends. Keanu Badrski, as always, glad to have you here. You see on the left side of your screen the overall standings for the 2021 Marble Champions League. The Trojans, after a win, have moved their way into the lead, and they have a 6-point advantage over Oris 1, then the Steel Brothers, the Savage Jackal, and the Janitors, the top 5, all the way down to top 2 Bola, 9 points back to the next closest team. They have really struggled so far this year. As you have a look at our course for today's event, this is a much more traditional style, as we've got a lot of funnels to go through on this course, and it is pure speed. You'll see at the bottom there the finishing platform. That is where you need to get, and you need to be one of the first 2 in our group stage to finish. The teams are ready, the fans are ready. Are you ready? This is event number 7 of the 2021 Marble Champions League. This is the Quadrilla Funnels. As you have a look at our matchups here, the grouping A, B, C, and D, you know how it goes. Top 2 from each will advance into our semifinals. The groups change each week, but the way that this competition works does not. in our bracket format as always. We have 8 funnels that these teams will have to make their way through. You can see they're numbered for you, make it a little bit easier to be able to see where each competitor is at. Group A today are the Speedy Hunters, Flush, Swiftblade, and Tatu Bola. They are off, and the first one through very quickly is Tatu Bola, followed by Swiftblade, Flush, and the Speedy Hunters. Now, this is interesting. You don't want to be the first one through here. You can see Tatu Bola, and then the Flush. Here comes maybe Swiftblade. Yep, there's Swiftblade, and there. Now, in the lead is Swiftblade. As you can see, takes everybody getting through before that funnel's going to tip over for you. But very early, the lead now, not so early, as we're all the way down to the 3rd funnel, is Tatu Bola. They're down to the 2nd funnel. Still nobody through. Here come the Speedy Hunters running in 2nd, looking for that final funnel, making their way through, and finishing first is Tatu Bola. They will advance. Swiftblade has an easy advantage now. Here comes to the 2nd hole. Here comes the Speedy Hunters. They're going to try to make a pass at the last moment. They will! Speedy Hunters get it done. Ahead of Swiftblade, and now the Flush will finish last. Unbelievable. At the last moment, the Speedy Hunters make the pass. As we'll have a look at the replay here, they will join Tatu Bola in the first semifinal. You can see Tatu Bola really dominated this event. We mentioned in the Open they are the worst team, and by a pretty significant margin. 9 points separate them and then the next lowest of the 16 teams. But they had a lot of success here in the group stage, and at the last moment a pass by the Speedy Hunters advanced them into the semifinal. So an impressive run by Tatu Bola and a last-second pass allow us to have our advancers from Group A. Now Group B, which includes the championship leaders, the Trojans, then Lynx Rufus, the Janitors, and the Archangels. A couple of big competitors. Right now it's the Lynx Rufus in the lead. Let's see who gets through first. It's going to be the Archangels. They will be followed by the Lynx Rufus, then the Janitors, and the Trojans are going to be the last one through. However, it might put them in the lead. Taking their time, they'll finish out 2nd here. As we enter through, it's the Archangels. Now everybody's very close. And now, all of a sudden, you've got the Trojans in the lead. They're the first to hit funnel number 3. Now they're going to make their way to funnel number 2. Who's in 2nd? All the way down to the first funnel are the Trojans. It's Lynx Rufus running in 2nd. Lynx Rufus gets their way to the first funnel. They're trying to make a pass on the Trojans. They will. Lynx Rufus going to win this one. Now the Trojans are going to get passed by the Janitors at the last moment. And the Janitors advance. The Trojans, the championship leaders, going home. And they will be joined by the Archangels, who will finish this one out very slowly, apparently. Trying to give me as much time to talk as possible at a time of just over 57 seconds. So the Trojans become the 2nd straight team to lose it at the last moment. Lynx Rufus, they made a pass on the Trojans, and they actually set up the Janitors to make another pass as well. There was the pass for the win by Lynx Rufus, and then you see on your screen entering the first funnel were the Janitors, and they just knocked the Trojans right out of the way to advance. Very disappointing from the championship leaders, and the Janitors, again, they're one of the top 5, and they advanced to the semifinals by making that pass on the Trojans. Group C is the Savage Jackal, the Onyx, the Steel Brothers, and the Oris 1. Another big group. 3 of the top 5 right here. It's the Steel Brothers in the lead, followed by Onyx, then Oris 1, and Savage Jackal struggling to make it through. Oris 1 is through first. Finally, here come the Savage Jackal through the 8th funnel there. They're going to actually make a pass for 2nd, followed by Onyx and the Steel Brothers, who they were in the lead. They now are the last to get through, and they'll end up in 2nd. Let's see who gets through first. It's Oris 1 in the lead. Everybody else still trying to get through. The Savage Jackal. Look at Oris 1 all the way down at funnel number 3. They've got a big lead. Here come the Savage Jackal. Now these two are competing. They've got a pretty big advantage over the other two. Again, you need to finish in the top 2. Here come the others now. Nobody could take advantage. Now the Steel Brothers take the lead. They're all the way down to funnel 1, followed by the Savage Jackal. Savage Jackal make a pass. They're going to win this thing. They're going to be followed by the Steel Brothers. Onyx and Oris 1 will not advance as Onyx makes it through the final funnel. They'll finish in 3rd, and Oris 1 will come up 4th in today's event. From Group C. So those two are eliminated as the Savage Jackal made a pass again at the end to get that win. You have a look at the replay here and see how they did. You saw the Steel Brothers came through that first funnel in the lead. They really struggled after that, but ultimately they got their way into a spot where they could have had the win. But the Savage Jackal made the pass. Steel Brothers, though, still get through on the transfer spot, and ultimately that's all you're looking for, is to be one of the top 2 from your grouping. And again, in the semifinal, you want to be one of the top 2 as well to advance into our finale. So 3 groups are down. We've got 1 more grouping to go. This is the only group not to feature, or our second group, Group A, and now Group D, that does not feature one of the top 5 in the standings. So Group D, consisting of the Sphery Spiders, the Blue Jackets, the Vikings, and the Snow Wolves, and they are through, and very early it's the Sphery Spiders, followed by the Blue Jackets. And the Vikings and the Snow Wolves pull up the rear. The Vikings get through first, then the Sphery Spiders. Here's the Blue Jackets, and they're very well going to be in the lead. It's the Blue Jackets now ahead of the Snow Wolves. Now the Snow Wolves make a move. They're in the lead after coming up slow early on. Let's see if they can get down first. They will. They'll be the first to enter funnel number 3. Followed by the Vikings. A slow run right now for the Sphery Spiders. They're in some trouble. It's the Snow Wolves down to funnel 2. Now they're down to funnel 1. And they're going to advance. The best time of this first round will belong to the Snow Wolves. Here come the Vikings. They're circling the final funnel. Can they get it done? The answer is yes. The Vikings advance over the Sphery Spiders, and pulling up the rear are the Blue Jackets. The fastest time of 31.87 for the Snow Wolves, who came out slowly at first. In fact, they were the lowest, or the slowest to get through that first funnel. They really picked up speed, got very quickly through the second funnel, which helped. And then honestly, a pretty quick final funnel as well. Had a lot of success there on those final 3, which ultimately have clearly shown to be the money-making funnels. Doesn't matter where you are necessarily at the beginning. If you can get through those final funnels quickly, you've got a chance to do some damage. So they are through into the semifinals, and you can see there, semifinal A and B are set. Our group stages are done. Those 8 that are knocked out will compete, or will rather be situated based on timing as far as their placement in today's event. Semifinal A, the Janitors, Lynx Ruffus, Tatu Bola, and the Speedy Hunters. Big opportunity for the Janitors. They were in the lead. They're going to finish through funnel number 7 in second, which will really probably put them in about third. And in the lead now is the Speedy Hunters. And it's very close right now between 3 of them. Big lead now for Tatu Bola, doing it again. They had a lot of success earlier. Can they get it done? They're falling all around funnel 3. They're going to get through. They're going to get through funnel 2 quickly. Down to the final funnel. Tatu Bola trying to make the finale. They will as they advance. The Speedy Hunters will follow them. And the Lynx Ruffus and the Janitors will be going home in this second, or this first semifinal, as the Janitors look like they're going to make a pass. They will. They'll finish third. Tatu Bola does it again. After winning their group stage, they will win semifinal A, and they are in the finale. And they'll be joined by the Speedy Hunters as our second member of the final showdown here for event number 7, the Quadrilla Funnels. You can see on the replay, very quickly making it through Tatu Bola. They were followed by the Janitors, although the Janitors really struggled at the end, unable to do a whole lot after that. And Tatu Bola got it done. They had a big lead and struggled a little bit at the end there, getting through those funnels, but ultimately able to do enough. They didn't win it by all that much. A little less than 2 seconds, despite a pretty big lead initially. So Tatu Bola and the Speedy Hunters are through. And now the Savage Jackal and the Steel Brothers, a chance for them to move up in the championship standings. They're followed by, or joined by rather, the Snow Wolves and the Vikings. And let's see who gets through. First, it's going to be the Snow Wolves. They won their heat, and they will advance first. And they are the first through funnel number 7. That's really not where you want to be. Where you want to be is where the Vikings are. They're going to end up in the lead here, as again, it's the Steel Brothers who take their time getting down. And the Snow Wolves retake the lead. They're followed by the Savage Jackal. Those two are in funnels 5 and 4 respectively. Let's see who gets through first. It's going to be very close, but again, it's going to be the Snow Wolves. Then the Savage Jackal. The Savage Jackal has the inside lane. Can they make the pass through funnel 3? The answer is yes. And now they're going to be followed by the Snow Wolves. The Snow Wolves quickly get through 2, down to funnel 1, and very close to getting their way into the finale. Here come the Vikings out of nowhere. It's the Snow Wolves who take 1. The Savage Jackal advance with spot number 2. As the Vikings made a run, they can't get it done. In fact, they're going to get passed by the Steel Brothers, and they will finish 4th. They nearly made that pass and advanced into the finale instead. Pretty disappointing 53-second time there, finishing 13 seconds off the pace. I'll have a look here very quickly through were the Snow Wolves. They get the win here, and they, for the most part, looked pretty successful. Watch here. You can see the Vikings all over it, nearly had it. Oh, just couldn't get it done. And there a little bit of contact. Oh, man, they really had a huge opportunity to be able to make a pass, not only just for the transfer spot, but to actually win that second semifinal. They can't get it done either way. And so they will not advance. It's the Snow Wolves and the Savage Jackal in the finale. You see the reverse restarting area, which we talked about, funnel number 7. You don't want to be first. You really want to be the third to finish there. That should put you in a good spot. Here we go. Savage Jackal, Tatu, Bola, Speedy Hunters, and the Snow Wolves. It's the Speedy Hunters ahead of the Snow Wolves right now, and the Speedy Hunters will get through first. Again, you really want to be that third team through. Second is the Snow Wolves. Here come the Savage Jackal and Tatu Bola. They will really now fight for the restart lead. And it might be Tatu Bola. It looks like they're circling, and it will be Tatu Bola. They're going to take the lead here. And they're going to be the third team down. Pretty close right now between the Snow Wolves, the Speedy Hunters, and Tatu Bola. Now the Speedy Hunters trying to make a little bit of headway here. They are circling around funnel number 3, as are the Snow Wolves. They're going to quickly get through 2, down to funnel 1. Here's where a championship is won. And the winner of this event is going to be the Speedy Hunters, followed by the Snow Wolves. Tatu Bola is down to funnel number 1. They're looking for a podium finish, which is something you wouldn't think that you'd see from them, but they're going to get it done. They'll finish ahead of Savage Jackal, who will make up the rear here and finish in 4th place of this event. And did it in just under a minute. 59.385, 37.885. That's the winning time for the Speedy Hunters. As we get our last look at the Quadrilla Funnels. And the Speedy Hunters and Snow Wolves. It's interesting, even with the restart area, where you want to finish 3rd or 4th, that puts you in 1st and 2nd. It was still, for the most part, those teams that made it 1st and 2nd that were still, even after that restart, reestablishing themselves as the leaders in the clubhouse. And you can see it right there. 1st through funnel 6 were the 2 who finished 1st and 2nd in this event. And the Speedy Hunters did what needed to be done, which is quickly get through the funnels at the end. We talked about it. They actually used, it seems, a little bit of a contact there with the Snow Wolves to help them through as they win this one and they take home the gold. So congratulations to them. A very interesting finale with some teams that have had success, some that have not. And the Speedy Hunters, as you have a look at the results from today's event, they will pick up all 20 points. They ran their best time in the finale. So congratulations to them. The Snow Wolves ran the fastest time overall. They'll finish in 2nd. Tatu Bola 3rd. Savage Jackal 4th. And by the timing of the semifinals, it's the Steel Brothers that pick up the 5th place finish in today's event. Overall standings, the Trojans still have the lead, but they have dropped it to just 1 single point over the Steel Brothers. 1 more point back to the Savage Jackal. The Janitors are in 4th. The Vikings are in 5th. Despite the win, the Speedy Hunters are in 11th. They are the worst running out of any of our 7 winners that have medaled with a gold so far in this championship competition. So they still have a very long way. Probably not going to happen for them, but they do get a gold, and they are who everybody wants to be today. So congratulations, 3rd place for Tatu Bola. They take home the bronze, and after that, they're up to 35 points on the year. 2nd place to the Snow Wolves. They get the silver. They're at 62 points, just 52 points for the championship. But overall, today with the gold, everybody's aspiring to be the Speedy Hunters. They take home the gold, and they move their way a little bit further up those overall standings. Again, the Trojans unable to get through the group stage, but today they still hold on to the championship by 1 single point over the Steel Brothers. It's getting awfully tight at the top once again. We are on to event number 8 as we hit the home stretch of the 2021 Marble Champions League. And as we begin our 8th event, some of the championship contenders trying to make themselves a little bit clearer as we get toward the home stretch of this championship. There are the overall standings on your screen. As you can see, it's just a 1-point lead from the Trojans over the Steel Brothers. 2 points back to the Savage Jackal. The Janitors sit 5 points behind, and the Vikings in 5th, and Oris 6th. All of those competitors within 11 points of the championship lead. As you have a look at our course for today's event, we have, as we said, 6 teams within 11 points. A great opportunity here on this road course. more of a traditional marble racing event to maybe see if some of those teams that are toward the middle of the pack can make their way back up toward the front, or can the Trojans and company continue to space themselves out from the rest of the field. As you have a look at today, what we have for event number 8, a beautiful course here on this road course. You see some of the competitors' trailers and some fans on the inside infield of this course, as well as, of course, the large group of fans that we have packing this house today for today's event. The teams are ready, the fans are ready. Are you ready? This is event number 8 of the 2021 Marble Champions League. This is the Daytona 615 meters. As you have a look at the starting gates for today's event, and the luscious green hills on the infield here of this long road course. And again, you can see there's a couple of areas where you're going to get maybe some movement, a couple of those barriers there. And we are ready to go. For the first time ever, all 16 of our teams are on the course at the same time. Here we go. This is a 41-lap race, something we have never seen in the Marble Champions League. And early on, it's the Steel Brothers ahead of the Onyx, and the Blue Jackets, Tattoo Bola, and the Archangels, as we are on to lap number 2. Quick laps here. And we'll see if the Steel Brothers can continue to have success. Nowhere to be seen in the top half of the field right now are the Trojans. It's still the Steel Brothers in the lead with a slight advantage over Onyx. Then the Blue Jackets, Tattoo Bola showing well, and the Speedy Hunters running in 5th. Flash and Savage Jackal running in the top half along with the Lynx Ruffus right now. And Onyx just ran the fastest lap here, and they are closing in on the Steel Brothers, trying to make a pass for the lead as they come across the start-finish line again. It is close, and there's a pass! The Onyx take the lead on a little bit of a mistake there. It looked like the Steel Brothers may have ran into a barrier, but they retake the lead now. The Savage Jackal have moved their way up into 5th. And it's still the Steel Brothers as we are now on to lap number 8, and the Steel Brothers running about 0.3 of a second ahead of Onyx. It is a 2-team race right now, and now a pass by Onyx. They take the lead and will try to lead this lap as we go to lap 10. They do just barely. It is close at the top right now. Here come the Speedy Hunters. They're trying to make a pass on the Steel Brothers for 2nd. See if they can get anything done here. The Janitors, one of our top 5 competitors, they've moved into 7th. And now Onyx has again run the fastest lap. It's a lap 11. They are now in the lead over the Steel Brothers and trying to kind of build an advantage here. Flush has had success this season. They're up to 3rd. Right now, Onyx with a 1.8 second lead over the Steel Brothers. Will have a pretty good advantage over 3rd, 4th, 5th, and so on from there. And now 3rd place is the Janitors as they have moved their way up. Looks like they may get past. Maybe not. Here come the Trojans. They're up into the top half for the first time. Running in 7th, seeing if they can maybe climb this leaderboard here. Look at the pretty big lead right now by Onyx. Wow, it is a large advantage. They have pulled away here. Oris 1 just ran the fastest lap, interestingly enough. Here on lap 17. They're running in 13th, though, so not much success to show for it here. All of a sudden, here are the Trojans running in 3rd. And they may have just made a pass for 2nd. Yes, they did. The Steel Brothers have dropped back to 4th. Disaster strikes as they're trying to take advantage. And now this lead is down to 0.9 of a second. Here come the championship leaders. With the Flush and the Steel Brothers, the Blue Jackets all in the top 5. Here come the Trojans. They make a pass for the lead. They're followed by Flush. And the championship leaders are once again in front here at the Daytona 615 meters in lap 23 of 41. It's the Trojans, Flush, the Blue Jackets, the Archangels, and the Steel Brothers. Out of the top half are the Onyx. And it's over a second lead now between the Trojans and Flush. Right on their tail are the Blue Jackets. The Archangels, the Sphery Spiders, both up there now. The Steel Brothers running in 4th. And now the Trojans with a little bit of pressure. Here comes a pass for the lead by Flush. They're in the lead as they make their way through lap 26 onto 27, trying to build an advantage here over the Trojans. See if they can get it done. It's a 3.5, or a 0.35, 3.5 of a second. Clarify that. Right now the lead for Flush as we enter lap 29. Here come the Trojans again. The Steel Brothers have worked their way back up to 3rd. Trying to get closer here, get back in on the action. Again, they come in 1 point behind the Trojans in the championship standings. And right now they're 1 spot behind the Trojans in this event. That lead is less than 1/10 of a second. Here come the Trojans again, trying to make a block. Uh-oh, a little bit of trouble there, jumping over a barrier are the Flush, and they nearly lost the lead because of it. That's a great piece of work by them to stay alive, and again they make contact. Here come the Steel Brothers. The Trojans get pushed into the lead by the Steel Brothers, who take over second. Third are Flush, and now they're going to make a pass. Uh-oh, the Trojans get pushed out of the way. Flush back to the lead. Here come the Sphery Spiders into second place. With the Steel Brothers running third, the Trojans are fourth now. They switch back again. The Trojans back to third. Meanwhile, it's a 0.2 of a second lead for Flush over the Sphery Spiders, excuse me. Steel Brothers running third. Oris 1 is up to fourth, and the Trojans have dropped back to fifth. All over the Flush are the Sphery Spiders. We're getting down here, folks, as we enter lap 38. Only 4 laps to go in the 615 meters. Oris 1 has taken the lead. Can they come out of nowhere and get this thing done? The Steel Brothers are running fourth. The Trojans have just dropped back to 6. 2 more laps to go. Oris 1 nowhere to be found for the majority of this race. Now all of a sudden they've got the lead as we come across final lap at Daytona. Oris 1 the leader. Here come the Flush. They're right up on their bumper coming across the final line. It is Oris 1 that gets it done. They win it. Flush will take second. The Steel Brothers will take third, and by the way, they're going to move themselves into the championship lead because the Trojans fell way behind. Oris 1 comes from behind in the last handful of laps to get it done, winning it by just under a half a second on Flush. The Steel Brothers third, Sphery Spiders fourth, Archangels finished fifth. The Trojans dropped all the way back to ninth at the end of that race after pulling away a pretty large advantage. You have a look, there are the full race results of all 19 competitors, and officially there are the overall standings. As you can see, Oris 1 and their fans celebrating a win today. They come from behind win as we have a look at some of the highlights of today's race, and you're not going to see our winner in much of it. You can see even just from the beginning, Oris 1 settled in somewhere, looks like in the double digits. And it was the Steel Brothers who got off to a good lead and led for a pretty good portion before Onyx had a dominant stretch. That was really the majority of this race, was a lot of dominant stretches by different teams. The Steel Brothers had one. Onyx had another. As you can see, what you're looking at right now is the moment in which Onyx made that pass. They both ran into the barrier, but Onyx got back up to speed there a little bit more successfully and was able to make that pass. But it was the Steel Brothers and then Onyx. Flush had the lead for a good period of time, as did the Trojans. As you can see, that's what we're looking at right now. The Trojans having the lead. Then at the end, it was Oris 1. It really comes from nowhere. We saw they ran the fastest lap of the race, which was lap 17 pretty early on, but they were running in 13th at the time. So a little bit of a surprise there. As you can see, pretty good move made there by Flush, and then a block of the Trojans. Another point there where the barrier right after the start-finish line caused problems, and there you could see Oris 1 kind of popping their way through at the last moment. And this is where things got to a little bit too crazy there, as it was Flush ahead of the Trojans, and then Oris 1 comes out of nowhere. And right there was the pass into the lead for Oris 1. That was the winning move that got it done for Oris 1, as they were able to take advantage of a mistake by the two teams running in front of them, build a lead, and despite only leading about a handful of laps, they get the gold and win event number 8. So congrats to them. Congrats to the Steel Brothers. They still pick up third place, and after that, they're the new championship leaders with 90 points. Second place to Flush, they get the silver. They're at 79 points overall, and Oris 1 gets the gold, and they are now up to 85 points. So an impressive run for them, as today everybody aspires to be Oris 1 in the last few laps. After struggling for the majority of the race, they get it done, come from behind, and they can call themselves winners here in event number 8 of the 2021 Marble Champions League. The Daytona 615 meters goes to Oris 1. As they 8 events down and 8 events to go. We're officially on the backstretch of the 2021 Marble Champions League here on Marble Fubeca. Glad to have you again here, friends. I'm Keanu Bittersicki here for today's event number 9. We are halfway through and still halfway to go. There are the overall standings right now. It's a 5-point lead for the Steel Brothers, leading over Oris 1. The Trojans, Flush, and the Janitors, the top 5. And within 20 points of the lead as well are 6th place Savage Jackal and the 7th place Snow Wolves, going all the way down to the Archangels, who have dropped to last place 16th in our standings. I'll look at our course for today's event. Another more traditional style race. We had that in our last event. We'll do it again today. An oval, it appears, for our event. The teams are ready. The fans are ready. Are you ready? This is event number 9 of the 2021 Marble Champions League. This is the slalom race, 30 meters. Have a look at, again, a beautiful course here. Green infield. And a very small course, but that can provide, as we've seen on the past year on Marble Fubeca, with some very interesting action, some very fast-paced action as well. And here we go. This is another group staging matchup. So we will again go with our bracket style. There are the groups A, B, C, and D. It's a quick 2-lap race. Top 2, Bola, the Vikings, Onyx, and the Archangels. In Group A, top 2 will advance. And right now it's top 2, Bola with a big lead over Onyx, and then the Vikings and the Archangels. We go into lap number 2, a large lead for top 2 Bola, up by 1.7 seconds over Onyx, by about 0.2 of a second over the Vikings, who just made a pass for 2nd place. It is top 2 Bola across. They're going to get the win. The Vikings take 2nd. They transfer, followed by Onyx and the Archangels, who continue to struggle. They will finish in last out of this grouping, and obviously not going to advance into the semifinal, as we have a look at the replay here of this first race. Quick sprints here. The style of event that we're running with today. Provides for not a lot of time to make up any kind of mistake that you might make. As you saw, the Vikings make a quick pass, but not much passing otherwise. As top 2 Bola and the Vikings advance to semifinal A. And we make our way to Group B of this opening stage, and they are consisting of the Savage Jackal, the Steel Brothers, those are championship leaders, the Speedy Hunters, and the Sphery Spiders. Lots of S's all over the place here for this matchup, and right now it's the Sphery Spiders and the Steel Brothers, and it looks like the Steel Brothers are going to make a pass for the lead. It's close right now between the top 2, but they're trying to distance themselves between the Speedy Hunters and Savage Jackal. The Steel Brothers pulling out to a little bit of a lead. It's the Sphery Spiders trying to hold on. Steel Brothers win it, and the Sphery Spiders will advance, transferring over by about 0.6 of a second over the Speedy Hunters, and then the Savage Jackal finishing in last out of Group B as we have a look at our replay. You saw the Sphery Spiders actually jump over one of those barriers there. Nothing illegal about it. It's just a matter of whether or not you can make it work for momentum's sake. They did not, as they got passed out of that first corner by the Steel Brothers, but they're still able to advance. As the Sphery Spiders get that transfer spot and the last spot in semifinal A. Here's Group C. The Blue Jackets, the Trojans, the Janitors, and Oris 1, another heavy-hitting group. And right now it's the Janitors with a big lead over Oris 1, then the Blue Jackets and the Trojans. They're all pretty close, but it's a gigantic lead for the Janitors, who'd have to really mess it up if they don't advance. Here we go, it's the Blue Jackets still in the lead. They're trying to gain a little bit of momentum and maybe upset this group. Across the line, it's the Janitors, and the Blue Jackets do get it done. They advance over Oris 1, and the Trojans with a rough run there as they struggle. Have a look at the replay. That was a pretty easy win for the Janitors, winning it by 1.2 seconds over anybody, all the way back almost 4 seconds before the Trojans crossed the line after the Janitors did. A pretty dominant run there by the Janitors. They grabbed the first spot along with the Blue Jackets in Semifinal B. And our final group, the Lynx Rufus, Flush, Swiftblade, and the Snow Wolves. And they are off, and it's Swiftblade in the lead right now, but here comes Lynx Rufus. They're going to take the lead, followed by Swiftblade, then the Snow Wolves, and Flush falling behind a little bit. Let's see if there could be a pass, maybe. They're right up on the bumper. Swiftblade trying to get to Lynx Rufus, cannot get it done. Here comes Flush with a nice move. Can they make a pass? They're into third, but you need to be second in order to transfer, and they're not going to be able to have enough to get it done. It's Lynx Rufus and Swiftblade advancing from Group D. And you look at the replay here, and again, not a lot of passing really going to be done. As you can see, Lynx Rufus made that pass by going over a barrier. We saw one of the teams try to do that earlier. It didn't work. I think it was the Sphery Spiders maybe that had attempted to make that move happen. They got it done, but they didn't they weren't able to hold the spot. This time, Lynx Rufus does hold the spot. They're able to take a more traditional turn around the track. In their second lap, they grab a spot in Semifinal B. Joining them are Swiftblade, and that is the end of the group stage. So you can see on the left side, those are the teams failing to advance to the semifinals. 8 down, 8 left. As we make our way into the semifinals, we'll start with Semifinal A. Again, this is just 2 laps. It's the Steel Brothers, the Vikings, Tatu Bola, and the Sphery Spiders. Couple from the top, couple from the middle to bottom of the standings, but that's not going to matter necessarily. It's the Vikings and then the Sphery Spiders. Here's a pass for third by the Steel Brothers. They're going to have to get up into second, though. It's the Vikings in the lead. The Sphery Spiders have pressure all over them from the Steel Brothers, who make that pass. They go into second place as we come around for the final 2 turns. Here we go. It's going to be the Steel Brothers holding on. They take second. The Vikings get the win. The transfer go to the Steel Brothers. They're into the final as well. The Sphery Spiders put up a tough fight there, but they're unable to ultimately get it done against the Steel Brothers, who advance into the finale, joined by the Vikings, who win that one by a little over a half a second in Semifinal A. And on the replay here, you can see that pass had to be made. The Sphery Spiders very nearly spoiling the party for the Steel Brothers, but ultimately they're able to make that pass, which is not easy. We've seen here it has not been easy to pass, but they get it done to advance into the finale. Here's Semifinal B. Lynx Rufus, the Janitors, Swiftblade, and the Blue Jackets. The Janitors had an incredible run in their first matchup, but they are struggling early here, really far behind the pace. Right now it's the Blue Jackets and then Swiftblade and Lynx Rufus, and a pretty significant portion behind are the Janitors. They are not going to be able to get this thing done. The Janitors will fail to advance. It's the Blue Jackets. Can Swiftblade do it? Yes, they can. They take it rather easily. Nearly a second between second and third. It was not an awfully close race there. 1.2 seconds from first to second, and then about 9/10 of a second from second to third. So a pretty easy advancement there for, obviously, the Blue Jackets with that win, but also pretty easily done there for Swiftblade. And so our final is set. It's the Vikings, the Steel Brothers, the Blue Jackets, and Swiftblade. Couple from the top, couple from not the top. In fact, I would even call it the bottom of the standings. But that is what's so great about this tournament and the way that this Marble Champions League works. Everybody's great, so anybody could do it at any point in time. Here comes the finale. Again, just 2 laps. It is a quick sprint. Right now, in the lead are the Blue Jackets, followed by Swiftblade. Then your championship leader, the Steel Brothers, and the Vikings taking on fourth. The Blue Jackets really trying to stretch out that lead. They lead by 1.3 seconds over Swiftblade. Coming around to that last propelling system, and they are going to get it done. It's the Blue Jackets who take gold. Second place and a silver to Swiftblade, and the Steel Brothers take bronze. Fourth place goes to the Vikings. As we have a look at our replay, that one again, not close. Won it by 7/10 of a second. as it was a pretty easy run there. And for the Blue Jackets on that second lap, it's all about just coasting it home, to be honest with you, as they were able to really build a lead on that first one. They're the winners of this event number 9, the slalom race 30 meters. As you have a look now at our official results from today's event, Blue Jackets take first, second place to Swiftblade, third to the Steel Brothers, fourth to the Vikings, and the Sphery Spiders end up in fifth, then Tatu Bola, Lynx Rufus, and the Janitors rounding out the top half of the standings, all the way down to, yet again, a very bad run for the Archangels. They continue to struggle as we have a look at the updated overall standings. It's still the Steel Brothers, and they are now pulling away with a 14-point lead over Oris 1. How, by the way, the Steel Brothers still yet to win an event, but they have 2 silvers, 2 bronzes, and have been far more consistent. Third place, the Janitors. Fourth place, the Trojans, who struggle a little bit in that event. And then Flush right now running in fifth. So maybe we're starting to see somebody try to pull away with this thing. We're a little more than halfway through now with this overall championship. And now it's a 14-point lead. Congratulations, third place to the Steel Brothers. They've now got 105 points. They're the championship leaders after a bronze today. 74 points for Swiftblade after taking silver, but today they're all aspiring to be the Blue Jackets. They take gold at the slalom race 30 meters, and really definitely something maybe that will allow them to turn around their season as we go into the second half of the 2021 Marble Champions League. Until next time. After a couple of heat races and real speed-based tournaments in our last couple of events, we are back to the more interesting events here, as we've got a brand new event here for today's number 10 event of this season. This is the 2021 Marble Champions League. Hello again, friends. I'm Keanu Biduzuki. Glad to be here with you. As you see your overall standings on the left side of your screen, the Steel Brothers advancing their lead a little bit further, up to 14 points now over Oris 1. And then the Janitors running back in third. And then the Trojans and Flush, your top 5, as they were able to take second place in our last event, the slalom race. So we again ran a more traditional marble race, but we are back to some of the more interesting events. The teams are ready. The fans are ready. Are you guys ready? This is event number 10 of the 2021 Marble Champions League. This is Collision Soccer. You have our course here. You can see it's a very interesting one, a mix of a couple of different styles here. You've got that rail racing that's going to start out. This is not, by the way, going to be a group event. This is going to be 8 different runs of one-on-one, which will advance us into the quarterfinals. Then we'll go into the semifinals, then down to our finale. This is a round of 16. We'll start with the Savage Jackal and the Archangels. This is a full team event. We've got a couple of goals going on. Looks like it's 3-2. And everybody else is going to hold still. 3-2, the Savage Jackal knock out the Archangels. And the first 2 were the Savage Jackal, or excuse me, were the Archangels. So a great job by the Savage Jackal to put in a couple of scores there at the end, because they were down 2-0 quickly against the Archangels, as you can see there on the replay. But the Savage Jackal into our first quarterfinal. They'll face the winner of this next matchup, which is the Steel Brothers and the Lynx Rufus. They are off. Down the rail they go. Going to try to get down first. That's going to be your tiebreaker in case of a tie. There's a goal. There's another one for the Steel Brothers. And that's all, I believe. Yep, everybody's going to hold still now. The Lynx Rufus unable to score. Steel Brothers pick up 2, and they advance to take on the Savage Jackal. Not a ton of scoring early in that one. Took a little bit of time before the Steel Brothers were able to score, and obviously we didn't get any scoring whatsoever. On the other end from the Lynx Rufus. First quarterfinal is set, and our next matchup is the Snow Wolves and the Speedy Hunters. It looks like the Snow Wolves have spread out a little bit. You want to stay as close as you can. There's a couple of goals. There's a third. There's a fourth for the Snow Wolves. What a run. The Snow Wolves are going to score everything they can. Only 1 on the board for the Speedy Hunters, and so it's the Snow Wolves coming off of a pretty strong run in the last event. keeping that momentum up. And look how quickly they scored. Yeah, wow. Got a couple of them, and really, they all went down pretty easily and pretty quickly, but 2 of those scores were incredibly fast. The Snow Wolves advance, and they'll take on the winner of the Onyx and the Sphery Spiders in this round of 16. Sphery Spiders, the white, the black of the Onyx, and there's a couple of goals, maybe just one. Yeah, just one so far. There's a second for Onyx. That's going to seal the deal. They're going to pick up a third for good measure. There's one at the end for the Sphery Spiders, but 3 on the board for Onyx. They get it done to advance. So far, we haven't had to use that tiebreaker, but you'll see up on the score bug there at the top of the screen, that time that's going to pop up is what time it was that they made it down onto the course, onto the soccer field here. That's going to be your tiebreaker in case we happen to have a couple of teams score the same. Haven't had to use it yet, and in fact, every time so far out of the 4 we've run, the first team down scores the most points. Let's see if that holds up here between Oris 1 and the Trojans. If it does, it bodes well for, I think, the Trojans. Here comes 1 score for Oris 1. There's 1 for the Trojans. A second for Oris 1 is going to get them the win. Pulled it out at the last second there. I think we may have lost one of the... Yep, you can see on that replay, one of the Trojans' marbles came back up and out of the course. So I was going to say, I only saw a couple on the playing surface there and then 1 in the net. So Oris 1 put at an advantage there because they had more marbles on the course. As you'll have like one more replay, there it is, right back up and over the fencing there for the Trojans, who continue a not-so-great streak. They're knocked out in the first round here again. And Oris 1 will take on the winner of Swiftblade against the Vikings here. Off they go. Swiftblade looks like they're in the lead early. There's 3 goals for the Vikings. Swiftblade trying to make something happen at the end. They will pick up just the 1. And the Vikings pick up 3. They continue their hot streak. They're advancing into the quarterfinals. And they just became the first team to get to the bottom of the field second, but still advance. A 4.345 on their time to a 4.128 for Swiftblade there. Doesn't matter, they get it done. The Vikings will take on Oris 1 in the quarterfinals. Now it's the Janitors against Flush. How fitting there, this matchup. The Janitors have been successful all season, but they're in some trouble here. 3-1, that's it. It's Flush that will get the win. And a second straight time that the first team down is not going to advance. Have a look at the replay, and just nothing happened there for the Janitors. They just didn't have anything really going. Able, after a little bit of contact, maybe they would have been able to pick up 2 if their 2 marbles on the left side hadn't made contact, but even if that happened, that's not enough to get it done because there were 3 points on the board for Flush. So they're advancing into the quarterfinal, and they will set up our final matchup, which is the winner of this last matchup of the first round. That's Tatu Bola against the Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets coming off of a win, and they have 3 points, and that's enough to get it done. Blue Jackets advance, and they will take on Flush. 3-1 the win over Tatu Bola. As we have a look at the replay, there was the one pretty easy for Tatu Bola. Then there is a quick one for the Blue Jackets. There's another one and another one after that. 3-1, they get the win to advance to the quarterfinal. And we'll go back up to the top of the bracket. It's the Savage Jackal against the Steel Brothers. Savage Jackal trying to do everybody a favor and knock out the championship leaders. There's 2 points for the Steel Brothers. Nobody else is going to score, and they will advance into the semifinal. Go the Steel Brothers with a 2-1 win. How close was that? Look at the timing. 4.258 to 4.263. So if they had tied, still would have been the Steel Brothers on what would have been awfully close. Look at the replay there. There's the winner. It goes in for the Steel Brothers with their second point. They nearly added a third, and you can see none of the Savage Jackal marbles really anywhere close. As we move our way down to our second quarterfinal, the Snow Wolves against Onyx. second straight time, white versus black with Onyx is involved. There's a couple of scores for the Snow Wolves. Onyx is going to have to make something happen. There's 3, and it's a 3-0 shutout for the Snow Wolves to advance into the semifinal, where they get the Steel Brothers. Forward now with the Vikings against Oris 1. Oris 1 second place. They really need this to keep it going. 1-1. Here's a second for Oris 1. Close off the side of the net there. Made contacted one of the Vikings marbles, but they cannot get it done. And Oris 1 advances to the semifinal. So they're trying to stay step by step along with the Steel Brothers. They have to make up points. They're 14 points now, but you definitely can't be eliminated when you see the other team that you're chasing continuing to go further and further into the tournament. Steel Brothers making it awfully tough on anybody. They continue to have success into the final last time. They're in the semifinals at least here today, which is the equivalent of the final from every other event with the grouping. As the Blue Jackets look for a second straight win, there's 2 points for them, and the Flush aren't going to get it done. The Blue Jackets into the semifinal. Look at the replay here. The Blue Jackets now trying to get on a hot run as the second half of the season is underway. And this is a 16-event season. And our 10th event here. As we make our way to the semifinal, the Steel Brothers and the Snow Wolves. Can anybody knock off the championship leaders? Trying to get it done. There's a goal for the Snow Wolves. There's their second goal. There's their third goal. There's 2 for the Steel Brothers. They cannot get the last one to go. The Snow Wolves advance into the finale. They knock out the Steel Brothers, who still will finish with an impressive run in today's event, but they're unable to get into the finale as 1, 2, 3 about as quick as possible for the Snow Wolves. Just unable to get that third marble to go. The Steel Brothers, you can see right there is the second one that falls, and then on the left side of the screen you see hovering around that goal, close, made contact with the side post, but unable to score. And so the Snow Wolves advance into the finale. And they'll take on either Oris 1 or the Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets trying to win a second straight event. Oris 1 trying to get to the finale again. They've won 2 events already. They're the only team to win more than 1. There are 2 goals for Oris 1. There's a second for the Blue Jackets. Did we get a... No, there's a third for the Blue Jackets. There's a fourth for the Blue Jackets, and they get it done. Their time was slower than Oris 1, so they needed to score more points. They did, and they advanced to the finale again. What a run in the last couple of weeks by the Blue Jackets. Winning in event number 9. And now trying to do it again. What a great run by them. They'll take on the Snow Wolves in the finale. Oris 1 is going to best out the Steel Brothers just barely, just by 1 spot. Not going to do a lot toward the championship points, but it will at least help them get just a tiny bit closer. But now the finale and everything that we have worked for today comes down to this. The Blue Jackets on the left, the darker blue, the more of a white color with the blue is the Snow Wolves. They are off. The finale is underway. There's a couple of goals there. The Snow Wolves again with 3 more. And that's going to do it. There's a second for the Blue Jackets. They will not score a third. And the Snow Wolves, again with that quick attack, which is exactly what they did in the semifinal. Got it done so quickly in a blink of an eye. You're already having to score 3 or 4. And just barely the Blue Jackets were down first, so they would have only needed 3. They get 2, but could not pick up that final one they needed. They're both close to the goal. Neither would go in, and so it's the Snow Wolves that win this event in our collision soccer. Congratulations to them as you have a look at the results for today's event. And it's 3 points that Oris 1 is going to make up on the Steel Brothers. From 3rd to 4th place, they take that bronze medal. Silver, of course, goes to the Blue Jackets. Gold to the Snow Wolves. Steel Brothers 4th, Vikings 5th, Savage Jackal and Flush and Onyx our 6th, 7th, and 8th, the top half of our bracket from today. In this 1 versus 1 matchup, the lead for the Steel Brothers is down to 11 points. 117 to 106, and then another 12 points back to the Snow Wolves, who get their first win. They're in that win column now, as we've got a bunch of winners. Only one multi-time winner in 10 events, but it's an 11-point lead for somebody who hasn't won at all. The Steel Brothers continue to be stopped from getting their first event win, but they continue to hold a double-digit point lead when it comes to the overall standings, which is ultimately what you're going for. Congratulations to Oris 1. They pick up 6 goals over the course of the event, taking a bronze. They're up to 106 points. The Blue Jackets picked up 7 goals en route to a silver. 10 goals for the Blue Jackets, for the Snow Wolves. They deserved it, as they got it done in a pretty impressive fashion with 10 goals, well more than anybody else, and they do it with 3 in a matter of a second, coming down in our finale. So congratulations to them today. They all aspire to be the Snow Wolves as they get it done in event number 10. We are on to event number 11 of the 2021 Marble Champions League as the second half of our season continues. Glad to have everybody here. Well, again, friends, I'm Keanu Bittersicki for today's event, the 11th, as we're back into a basketball-style event. Here's the overall standings as they stand at the moment. It's the Steel Brothers up by 11 points on Oris 1, then 12 points back from there to the Snow Wolves in 3rd, then the Janitors 1 point behind them, a two-way tie for 5th between Flush and the Vikings, as that is the top 5, well 6 technically, with that tie for 5th place, starting to spread out a little bit. The Steel Brothers, despite still not winning an event through 10 events, holding a commanding now 11-point lead heading into today's event, trying to maybe stretch that out even further, maybe win their first event, take home their first gold of this season. As you have a look at the course for today's event, there's the starting gates. The teams are ready, the fans are ready. Are you ready? This is event number 11 of the 2021 Marble Champions League. This is basketball. As you have a look at the back portion of the course, there is the basketball hoop. You see 9 options on where you can score. As you see at the bottom there, 2, 4, 3. Those are the potential points you can score, depending on which hoop the marble fits through. We are back to our group style. And so we have A, B, C, and D are groupings. You see there they are. We'll start with Group A, which is the Janitors, the Vikings, the Flush, and the Speedy Hunters. They are off through the propelling system. They go, and it looks like we're going to get 2 scores. It's a 2-pointer for the Vikings, a 3-ball for the Flush. They're going to both advance. The Janitors, who needed a good run to try to get back in this championship race, they failed to score, and same can be said there for the Speedy Hunters. Actually, you can see they had too much speed going there, ended up dropping off the course and down into that gutter ball, if you will, unable to put up any points. Have a look one more time. That's a pretty solid run there by Flush, and then the Vikings able to rim out of one and into another, and those 2 points enough to get it done for them. So they both advance into our semifinal A from our Group A. Vikings and the Flush advancing from our first group. This second group is going to feature the top 2 in the championship standing. So Oris 1 in second, then the Spheri Spiders, Tatu Bola, and of course the Steel Brothers. Looks like the Steel Brothers didn't score. No, they did not. Oris 1 puts up 4. The Spheri Spiders will transfer with 2, and the Steel Brothers opening the door for the rest of the contenders here, unable to score. And so obviously not advancing into the semifinal. Oh, they rimmed out of what would have been 3 points. That would have been enough to knock out the Spheri Spiders. Look one more time right here. Oh, it was a beautiful shot there. Just couldn't get it to fall. And that is going to cost the Steel Brothers and put them in a precarious position. Oris won second place in the standings, advances. And so they put themselves in a spot where they can definitely pick up quite a few points. Coming 11 points behind, they're going to make up quite a few as they advance into the semifinal, knocking out the Steel Brothers in the group stage. That's a huge group decision there as we move to Group C. And looks like we got 2 more scores and an easy advancement for the Snow Wolves, who pick up 4. Lynx Roughus picks up 2. The Onyx and the Archangels, who continue to struggle mightily as we have a look at the replay, neither able to score. Look one more time. First up was the Onyx, and did it cost them? They were pretty solid off the backboard. Oh, they made contact with the Snow Wolves. That's what cost them. And looked like a little bit of contact as well, so we'll have a look one more time, maybe between the Archangels and Lynx Roughus. Let's see, did they? Nope, actually it's a clear miss by the Archangels. Didn't make any contact with any of the openings there. Just a lot of contact with the blue surface, unable to put up any points. They are eliminated as well. That's a disappointing end for Onyx there, as they made contact with the Snow Wolves and were unable to advance. Kind of get knocked out of their course. Final grouping, Savage Jackal, Trojans, Swiftblade, and the Blue Jackets. They are off, they are up, and... Uh-oh, did somebody get stuck? Yes, Swiftblade is going to get stuck and not put up any points. The Trojans don't score. Oh, wow, I don't even know how that happened. 2 points for Savage Jackal, 4 for the Blue Jackets. They advance, but I think that would have been 2 more points for Swiftblade there. They had the slowest time, so they likely weren't going to advance, but let's have a look and see if we can figure out what happened. I don't know. I guess the kind of test tube bottom portion of the rims here kind of lend itself to potentially something like that happening, but that is a pretty shocking outcome there. And obviously a disappointment for Swiftblade, as they will not advance through our group stage here. And probably the strangest outcome you're going to see in today's event. They're knocked out, as well are the Trojans, and our semifinals are set. We're from 16 down to 8. First semifinal, the Scary Spiders, Oris 1, Flush, and the Vikings. And everybody's going to score except for Oris 1, and it's 3 4s. And the tiebreaker by time is going to knock out the Scary Spiders. Let's have another look at something we haven't seen yet. There is 1, there is 2, and oh man, if the Scary Spiders hadn't rolled around the rim for a little bit, they very well may have been able to get in ahead of that second score, which was by the Vikings. Right there, yeah, if they had gone down, it would have been nearly simultaneous. Not the case. Meanwhile, Oris 1 unable to score at all, and so they're not able to pick up as much as I think they would have liked on the lead from the Steel Brothers. That's going to be a disappointing semifinal run for them, as they didn't score any points either, which means they're likely looking at probably an 8th place finish in today's event. On to semifinal B. We'll see who gets through, and a couple are going to score, a couple are not. Snow Wolves and Blue Jackets are eliminated. 3 points for the Savage Jackal, 2 for Lynx Roughus, as they will transfer on. And the 2 with the more unique names here from this semifinal B able to move on. Savage Jackal with 3 points on the board. Lynx Roughus picks up 2, both transferring into our finale. As you have a look, there was the 3. Oh, rimming out for the Snow Wolves, as they very nearly came up with some points and probably a chance to transfer. One more look, let's see. Oh yeah, they nearly... Actually, it's very similar to what we just saw from the Steel Brothers in their group run, where they almost were able to, maybe the equivalent of nothing but net there, almost swishing it. Unable to get it done were the Steel Brothers then and the Snow Wolves now, both eliminated in the group stage and now in the semifinal, sending us to our finale. Final 4, and we have some top teams in there. The Vikings and the Flush, both trying to make up some of those times, or some of those points that they are trailing back from the Steel Brothers. They're joined by the Savage Jackal and Lynx Roughus. Savage Jackal not all that far behind either. First one getting a chance is Flush. They're going to pick up 2. It's a tie there, and we're going to give the win to Flush on the time tiebreaker, a 2-2-7-9, beating out the 2-5-8-1 from the Savage Jackal. They'll take silver. Bronze for the Lynx Roughus, or excuse me, for the Vikings, with a time of 2.710. They did not score a point, but they beat the time of Lynx Rufus at a 3.183. I don't think Lynx Rufus finished on the course. So we have a look at the first replay. There was the first score. Here's the second. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but as you can see, Lynx Rufus never even made it to the court. See if we can find out on the second replay what happened here. I don't know. It just seems like there was no speed. Yeah, there's just no speed coming off there from Lynx Rufus. I don't know what could have possibly happened there in that propelling system to stop Lynx Rufus from being able to at least have a chance, but they were given no opportunity. Although they would have had to score either a 3 or a 4 to make it happen. But then again, if they score anything, they would have gotten that tiebreaker over the Vikings, and they'd be sitting with a bronze. Either way, what happens, happens, and what happened today is a win for Flush. That's a big one. A lot to kind of talk about here at the end of today's video, as you see the fans from Flush celebrating their gold medal today, their first place finish in event number 11. As we get closer and closer towards the home stretch of this season. And the standings from today's events, here are the official results. Pop it up on the left side of your screen. They pick up 20 points. Savage Jackal picks up 17. Vikings 3rd, Lynx Rufus 4th, Sphery Spiders 5th. Oris 1 ends up in 6th place. And the Steel Brothers end up in 14th place. They pick up 8 points on the 11 that they were behind. So a big gain there. The Janitors pick up just 1 point. That's going to hurt them. As we now bring in the overall standings through 11 events, the Steel Brothers by 3. It's just 7 points back to Flush, who become the second team to win 2 events. 11 points back to Savage Jackal, and 12 points back to your 5th place team, the Vikings. The Snow Wolves move into 6th, as they are the final team over 100 points, passing the Janitors after just 1 point in this event. The Janitors severely struggling here today. Rough for them. Congratulations to the Vikings after 6 points today. They are going to, scoring, 6 points. They're going to pick up a 3rd place. 2nd place goes to the Savage Jackal. But today, they all aspire to be Flush. Not only do they pick up the gold and win the event, they become the second team to win a second event through 11 here in the 2021 Marble Champions League. They also really close the gap, as they are within just 7 points, moving up to 3rd in the championship standings. Still a lot to go as we are through 11 events. We are heading back to our roots for event number 12 of the 2021 Marble Champions League with an exciting mixed-style event of classic marble racing. Hello again, friends. Glad to be here. I'm Keanu Bittersiki for today's event. We'll look at the beginning of that course. As you see the overall standings popping up on the left side of your screen through 11 events, the Steel Brothers lead has closed to just 3 over Oris 1. Getting in on the action now after their win in event number 11 is Flush. They're just 7 points behind. Just 11 back to Savage Jackal, 12 back to the Vikings. Those are our top 5. And as we said, there are 6 teams over 100 points now through 11 events of our season. Glad to be here for a more traditional style. We've been jumping back and forth between the more unique events and the more traditional style marble events recently, which I'm sure these fans here inside of the arena today have really enjoyed, as we hope all of you have as well. You see the course laid out for you, funnels and mixes, backs and forths. Lots of opportunity for passing, definitely, in today's event. The teams are ready. The fans are ready. Are you ready? This is event number 12 of the 2021 Marble Champions League. This is the mixed race. So look at the finish line there. Really going to have to make a lot of those passes, one through that portion of the course, as you can see, where you can kind of switch back and forth. And of course, the funnel's a big opportunity for passing, as you see just about every time that you get one of these events. But definitely an interesting event, interesting style with this mixed event. Group staging, as always, are back. A, B, C, and D. You see them on your screen on the left side. And as always, we'll begin with Group A, which today are the Onyx, Sphery Spiders, the Vikings, and the Speedy Hunters, one of our top 5. And the Vikings representing, let's see who gets through the first funnel in the lead. And the answer, eventually somebody's going to have to do it. It's going to be the Sphery Spiders. And the Vikings come out last there. Here comes Onyx taking over the lead, followed by the Speedy Hunters. And then the Spheri Spiders. The Vikings still running in last here, but everybody's in the same funnel here. That's really the opportunity. There go the Vikings, just what I was about to talk about. You can still get there. If you make a mistake, it can cost you everything, though. Oh, gotta get bailed out there a couple of times by the Speedy Hunters were the Vikings. Back in the lead now are the Spheri Spiders. Here come the Vikings trying to make another huge comeback. Lots of contact being made, and it's going to be the Spheri Spiders, and the transfer is going to go to the Speedy Hunters. The Vikings are knocked out in the first round, and they will finish third in this event. Fourth is going to be Onyx. That was a back-and-forth battle, and ultimately, it's about a 6-second, almost 7-second difference between second and third. Let's see how we got there. First of all, right there, Onyx nearly knocked out the Vikings for good, but the Speedy Hunters kind of came in from behind and got a little wild and a little bit too generous, it seemed, there, as they made a couple of contacts, and then they did it again, making contact with the Vikings. Ultimately, though, they're still able to advance along with the Spheri Spiders, and a big opportunity missed for the Vikings. They need to go deep into these events as we get later and later into the season. Here's Group B. Swiftblade, Flush, Savage Jackal, and the Snow Wolves. Flush, of course, coming off of a win. They are now in third place in the standings. They're trying to get through this funnel first, and they will. And they're going to be followed by someone eventually. It's going to be Savage Jackal, then Swiftblade. Here come the Snow Wolves very slowly. Everybody kind of taking their time here through this one. Snow Wolves going to get out to the lead now, followed quickly by Flush. And now they start to pick up speed here. Everybody's into that funnel. Now another lead change. It's going to be Swiftblade, followed by the Snow Wolves. Savage Jackal and Flush still running up in that second funnel. Now all the way down to the third funnel and really kind of putting a distance between themselves. It's Snow Wolves now in the lead, followed by Swiftblade. Here comes Flush, trying to make a pass. They can't get it done yet. Now it's the Snow Wolves in the lead. They're going to get the win. They'll advance. Let's see if Swiftblade can do it. Savage Jackal trying to make a pass. Not going to happen. And Flush again, a top 5 team eliminated. They'll finish third, and Savage Jackal will come home fourth. And that is the fastest time so far on the course through 2 groups, belongs to the Snow Wolves with a time of 42.227 seconds. Part of the way they got it done was maneuvering quickly through that portion of the course, the graphing portion, which is very difficult. But you could see they didn't do all that great of a job with it. Able to really navigate those funnels very quickly, and they are into our semifinal A, as you can see now set on your screen. Here's Group C. It's Orus 1, the Archangels, the Steel Brothers, and the Trojans. So the Steel Brothers needing to come back. Orus 1 hoping that they can advance, and the Steel Brothers won't again. That would give them a championship lead. Meanwhile, the Archangels, who are in the lead here, have been just about as pathetic as anybody could imagine so far in this season. And the Trojans have been kind of back and forth so far. Here are the Steel Brothers first into that funnel. First out of the funnel, though, are the Orus 1 and the Archangels. They're in the lead. Archangels first down to that final 2 set of tunnels. Here comes Orus 1. They're going to try to make a pass. Everybody else pretty far behind right now. Orus 1 down to the final funnel. Here come the Archangels as well. Steel Brothers have to make up time. Archangels are through. They're going to win the grouping with the fastest time we've seen. Here comes Orus 1. They are through, and the Steel Brothers fail to advance again. Let's see if they even finish third. I don't think they are. Looks like the Trojans have the inside line. They do. They get the win. And the Steel Brothers struggle mightily in that final funnel. Had a chance to advance. Instead, they finish fourth, and they are in significant danger with a very slow time. That was nearly, what is that, over 18.5 seconds slower than the Archangels, who, as I mentioned, maybe it took me calling them out to get it going. They run the fastest time so far, a 40.335 second time. Like I said, over 18.5 seconds faster than your championship leaders. The Steel Brothers not going to be able to say that after this event, because the Orus 1 are through, the Steel Brothers are not. That's going to cost them enough points that no matter where in the grouping they finish, they're going to have the lead at least over the Steel Brothers. Here's the final group. Atubola, Lynx Rufus, the Janitors, and the Blue Jackets. You can see this first funnel awfully slow. First one through is Atubola, then the Janitors, who need a really good run because they struggled mightily, picked up just 1 point in the last event, and they are through that second funnel in the lead. Let's see if they can get through the third funnel. Everybody's in that third funnel right now. First one to drop is going to be Atubola. They're going to be followed by the Janitors, who got stuck for a moment. They're going to drop the third, make contact. They're in all sorts of trouble right now. Down to these final two funnels, it's still anybody's game. Blue Jackets and Tatu Bola down to the final funnel. Here come the Janitors. Let's see who can make the pass. It's Tatu Bola. They're going to get the win. There goes Lynx Rufus, who ran in last for the majority of this race. They're going to get the transfer spot. The Janitors will finish third, but again, that's not enough to advance. Blue Jackets will be last in Group D. A little bit of a surprise there. You can see the Janitors really struggling with the graphing portion of this course. Just couldn't get anything going there. Really, really struggled. And right there and there. A couple of good moves. And Tatu Bola learned to maneuver the funnels pretty well. That's going to treat you well throughout this event, as it did in the group stage for them. And here comes Lynx Rufus. There's the move that everybody wished they could make every single time. That was an impressive run at the end by Lynx Rufus after struggling through the majority of the course. They're able to get it done. And we'll advance into the second semifinal. So again, a chance for these middle of the pack or even lower portion, bottom half, to potentially, again, make some big moves in the overall standings. We're getting late, and so it's hard. You have to kind of string a lot of those together and hope for continued struggles from other teams. First semifinal featuring a lot of these teams that are not necessarily at the top of the standings. So this is a big one for all four, trying to really maximize what they can when the leaders struggle. First through is the Sphery Spiders, then the Snow Wolves. Sphery Spiders quickly through the second funnel, and they are trying to get through this third funnel maybe before anybody gets to it. Almost did it. They're going to get through pretty easily here. They're down to the graphing portion of the course with a large lead. Can they handle it quickly? Down to the fourth funnel here. There's 5 funnels in this course, and right now it's not close. The Sphery Spiders have now been joined by Swiftblade in the fourth funnel. Now it's the Sphery Spiders down to the fifth and final funnel. They're again joined by Swiftblade. Those two are going to probably advance. There is a nice run by Swiftblade. They're going to end up getting the win. And at the last moment, the Sphery Spiders starting to struggle, but they're still going to get it done. Second place will advance them through into the finale. Speedy Hunters will take third. And fourth place in this one for the Snow Wolves. Boy, that's going to be a disappointing run in the sense that you didn't win this semifinal if you are the Sphery Spiders, because they dominated this one for almost the entirety. But this is an entire course race. You have to do well for the entire portion of it, or at least what Lynx Rufus proved in their group stage. You have to do well at least at the very end, because that's what ultimately is going to matter, and that's what Swiftblade did there. Got to the inside lane, made that move on the Sphery Spiders. They got the win, but still enough to advance for the Sphery Spiders as they're into the finale, joining Swiftblade, knocking out the Speedy Hunters and the Snow Wolves, and they'll join the top 2 finishers from our second semifinal. Oris 1, again, did not advance to the finale last time after knocking out the Steel Brothers in the group stage. They really want to do that here, and they can start out with a good run if they can do that, but that's not what's happening. They're going to start into the second funnel last, and meanwhile, the Archangels, who really showed me up after I called them out for performing poorly, off to a good start, but now they're starting to struggle. Oris 1 still running last. It's Tatu Bola in the lead, followed by the Archangels now. Tatu Bola really picking up the speed in funnel number 4. They're down to the final funnel. Oris 1 still in the graphing portion, trying to get through. And here come the Archangels. They're in a transfer spot right now. It's Tatu Bola who gets it done. The Archangels will join them in the finale. Lynx Rufus couldn't pull off the final funnel pass this time. They'll finish third, and Oris 1 again struggling in the semifinal for the second straight event. They cannot advance to the finale after the Steel Brothers, who they are chasing in the standings, are knocked out in the group stage. However, that time was better than either of the teams that did not advance from the first semifinal, so it won't be a complete loss, just not as good as it could have been. But it will still be enough to pass the Steel Brothers in the standings. So certainly a positive event for Oris 1 as you have a look at the replay of this event, but certainly not as well as they would have liked. If they had been able to do just a little bit more, they could have really maybe started to put a little bit of separation between the top 2 teams in the standings. But that wasn't to be, as was Link's Roughest pulling off another last-second pass, unable to do it. As Tatu Bola and the Archangels, what an interesting final grouping we have. Swiftblade, the Sphery Spiders, Tatu Bola, and the Archangels. Certainly going to be a lot of celebrating from one of these fan bases and one of these teams, whoever comes out on top here of this final group. Here we go, let's find out. Into the first funnel they go. First one down looks like it was Tatu Bola. Archangels trying to make that pass. Who's going to get it done? It's going to be Swiftblade, followed by the Sphery Spiders. And Tatu Bola and the Archangels, the final one down. Everybody's in funnel number 2, and the Archangels make a pass to get into funnel number 3 first. They're followed again by the Sphery Spiders in second. And Tatu Bola down into the graphing portion first, followed by Archangels. And then I think, no, they're both still up in that funnel. Here comes Tatu Bola. Archangels trying to make a pass, and they almost got stuck with each other. Here we go into funnel number 4. Tatu Bola makes the pass. They've had a strong, strong event. Archangels following in second. Can they do it? Archangels circling. They're going to get the win. Archangels takes gold with a 44-206. The Sphery Spiders second. Bronze to Tatu Bola, and Swiftblade, when they finish, will take home 4th. What a run by the Archangels in today's event. That is unbelievable. Let's look at the replay. Oh my goodness. As the Archangels, who didn't do all that terrible very early in the season, have really been on a very, very significant slide recently. And that is, when I say recently, been the majority of this season. Right there, I thought they had the pass, and then there they nearly caught each other up, which could have been a disaster. I thought Tatu Bola might be able to get it done, but the Archangels got that inside track, and right there is the one that got it done. Congratulations to them. As the Archangels go ahead and take a screenshot of that, folks. The Archangels, an event winner in event number 12, trying to get their season back on track for the final few races of this season. Congrats to them. There are the results. They ran the fastest time, by the way. It happened in the group staging. They picked up 20 points. The Steel Brothers picked up 0. That is huge. Horus 1's going to gain 10 points on them. And the Flush going to gain 7, which should put them in a tie, shockingly enough. Boy, that's a huge event with some huge ultimate overall implications. New leader by 7 points. It's Horus 1. Flush moves into second. A tie, technically, with the Steel Brothers. Vikings are 4th. Snow Wolves are in a tie for 5th with the Savage Jackal. By the way, still 6 points out of 15th place, even after the win, are the Archangels. But they'll try to carry some momentum into events number 13, 14, 15, and 16, and see if they can't do something about it in the final portion of this season. Congrats to Tatu Bola. They're up to 77 points after a 3rd place finish. Congrats to the Sphery Spiders. They get over 100 with now 102 points total. But today, everybody's aspiring to be the Archangels. Believe it or not, they get the win in event number 12. The mixed race certainly provided a lot of fireworks, a lot of passing opportunities, and proved very, very clearly you have to learn how to navigate a funnel if you're going to have success in a marble race, as these teams you could see who could and could not navigate that funnel well. Still a lot left to be determined, and after we thought maybe just a few events ago that it was all coming together for the Steel Brothers, they've combined to score just 1 point in the last couple of events, and this thing is awfully close now. It's a... The 2021 Marble Champions League rolls on into event number 13 of our first season of this new series, the Marble Champions League. See a large crowd here once again, everybody packed in to see their teams compete. As you see the overall standings, we're getting closer and closer to the end of the 16-event season. Horus 1, if you missed it last time, they took over the lead overall. They've got a 7-point advantage. It's now a tie for second between Flush and the Steel Brothers. The Vikings sit in 4th, and it's a tie for 5th between the Snow Wolves and the Savage Jackal. Those are the real championship contenders that are within 15 points of each other for our overall standings. As we are in for another more traditional, not exactly a traditional race all the way, but a more traditional race from what we've seen early on in the season. It is a couple of funnels involved in today's event. A lot more of those portions of the course where it's almost like a switch. Depends on where you're going, which side you're going to head to as you try to maneuver your way down the course. You see the fans, as we said, packed in. They are ready to go. There's the finish line, and we'll see who makes it down first. The teams are ready. The fans are ready. Are you ready? This is event number 13 of the 2021 Marble Champions League. This is the Maze Race. Again, a large course, and as always with these courses, we'll start high in the altitude there and work our way down not only the course, but down closer to ground level as well. As you see, where we'll have a lot of chances for passes. And again, today's event, like most of these events, are group events. We've got 4 groups of 4 into our semifinals and our finale. We'll start with our first grouping. This is Swiftblade, the Steel Brothers, the Blue Jackets, and the Snow Wolves. They're into their first funnel. And first down looks like that was the Snow Wolves. Now it's the Blue Jackets in the lead. Meanwhile, the Steel Brothers and Swiftblade still struggling to get through that first funnel. Down to the second funnel are the 2 blue marbles, Blue Jackets and Snow Wolves. And looks like the Blue Jackets, nope, it's going to be the Snow Wolves who take that lead. They're down to this Plinko portion of the course, which can really cause a lot of problems for these teams. It's the Blue Jackets in the lead. Meanwhile, the other 2 marbles, the Steel Brothers and Swiftblade, struggling to get through a funnel. A little bit of contact there, and it looks like a pass. It's a lead now for the Snow Wolves. They're trying to make their way down. Again, you want to be one of the top 2. It bodes very well for these 2 blue marbles. Down for the final time. There's a pass, maybe? Nope, it's going to be the Snow Wolves, followed by the Blue Jackets. They'll advance through the group stage. And again, the Steel Brothers failing to advance. They struggled mightily in the last couple of events. They're struggling again today. Let's see if they take third out of this group. They won't advance. They will take third, as Swiftblade will be the final to finish with a 68-second run. 20 seconds slower than the leader. Snow Wolves and Blue Jackets, they are through. As we'll have a look at the replay here. And it was really not close between the Snow Wolves and the Blue Jackets and then everybody else. It was just a matter of who was going to win and who was going to get the second transfer spot. They're into the first semifinal. And into Group B, Tatu Bola, the Archangels, Flush, and the Janitors. The Archangels, the ultimate underdog story. And they won an event recently. Everybody, they're going to be keeping an eye on Flush. They are second in the point standings. Currently in that second funnel along with Tatu Bola. The Janitors running in third right now, trying to get to that funnel. There they are. Flush trying to advance the lead here. Trying to build a large portion of the lead. They're down into that orange portion now, the Plinko portion of the course. Making their way down a slide, down to another portion of this back and forth area of the course. How about the Janitors making up time? They've moved into second, and they've moved into the lead. Down to the final portion. Here come Flush. They make a move. They're blending in a bit with the stadium there, or with the course, I should say. Flush is going to get the win. The Janitors come across with an easy advancement in the transfer spot. The Archangels and Tatu Bola, who got off to a strong start, they fall apart here towards the end, and they finish in fourth. Along with the Archangels, they're eliminated from the competition. A little bit of a surprise there. Tatu Bola got off to such a strong start. Look at the large lead they had going into the first funnel, and ultimately just couldn't keep that success going. And there are the Flush and the Janitors into the semifinal. We go to Group C now. This is the Trojans, the Sphery Spiders, the Onyx, and your championship leaders, Oris 1. First event for them as the leaders. And the second into the funnel, and the first through the funnel. Down to the first portion of this course that involves the twists and turns. In the lead right now, followed by Onyx, then the Sphery Spiders. Here come the Trojans. And down to the second funnel now are Oris 1. And they'll be joined in that funnel by Onyx. Did Onyx get the inside lane? Looks like they did for a moment, but it's still going to be the lead for Oris 1. They're followed now by the Sphery Spiders, who may have made a pass, couldn't complete it though. Oris 1 going to try to take a slide job, and they will take the lead back after getting passed momentarily by the Sphery Spiders. They're pretty well ahead of the Trojans and Onyx, and it's a matter of who's going to take first, who's going to take second. It's the Sphery Spiders back in the lead, and they'll get the win. And they've got the best time so far. Here comes Oris 1. They advance. Now the Trojans will try to make a pass on Onyx. They will. Close at the end between those two. That was just all about positioning there after Onyx and the Trojans will be eliminated. Let's have a look at the replay. And you can see early on the Sphery Spiders had the lead. Missed it there. We didn't quite see it on the funnel, but a very quick funnel maneuver by Oris 1. Back and forth between the Sphery Spiders and Oris 1. And ultimately it's the Sphery Spiders who get the win. Oris 1 advances anyway to the semifinal with that final transfer spot. On to our last group. As you know, it's going to be Group D. There they are. Savage Jackal, Lynx Rufus, Speedy Hunters, and the Vikings. A couple of our top 5 are involved. Savage Jackal and the Vikings get into it again. They're really going back and forth trying to get to that second funnel. It's the Vikings who get there first, just ahead of the Savage Jackal, and we'll see who gets out of it first. It'll be the Vikings. And they both get out before the Speedy Hunters or Lynx Rufus entered that funnel. They've got a pretty large lead again. Hasn't been awfully close between second and third yet. Large lead now for the Vikings. Savage Jackal trying to come back. And they're going to come back and get into maybe the lead. Yep, they will make a pass for the lead. And in the final portion of the course, it will be... It's the Vikings, and then Savage Jackal. They'll advance. The Lynx Rufus crew will come in third, and the Speedy Hunters really struggling there. By the way, best time so far. And it now belongs to the Vikings. They run the fastest time of the group stage at a 47.216. If you look at the replay of this final group stage, a lot of back and forth between the Vikings and the Savage Jackal. As you can see, they just kept going back and forth and didn't seem like either wanted to let the other one get ahead. Ultimately, it is the Savage Jackal that get the win. The Vikings, excuse me, that get the win, but the Savage Jackal to advance as well. They'll have a chance to avenge that second place finish. As we move on to our semifinals, 9th through 16th will be based off of their times. Well, that's how they'll award points, or for one unlucky team, no points. Meanwhile, we're down to 8. First semifinal, it is the Janitors, Flush, Snow Wolves, and Blue Jackets. And again, those two blue marbles, just about everybody's blue in this event. They got off to a fast start. However, it's the Janitors that get through the first funnel. They're followed by the Blue Jackets, then the Snow Wolves, and here come Flush. But everybody's in this same portion of the course right now. It's awfully close. And look at the move by Flush. They get to the funnel first, followed by the Vikings. Now here comes everybody else. They're all in the second funnel at the same time. With the Blue Jackets that get out first. And they're a little bit of a mistake from the Snow Wolves. They got stuck for a moment. They get unstuck by the Janitors there. And now again, it's Flush who comes out of nowhere. Last out of the funnel, first down into the next portion of the course. And they maintain the lead, followed by the Blue Jackets' final portion. Contact all over the place. Flush is in trouble now. Here comes the Blue Jackets. They're going to get it. Flush is going to come up in second, just ahead of the Janitors, as contact was being made all over the place. And it's Flush tied for second in the standings, and a huge advancement there. They're into the finale, and you have to have a look at the replay. What a fascinating event that one was. We didn't have any really very close ones between second and third on who was going to advance in any of the group stages. That's not the case here today in semifinal A. The win in that semifinal goes to the Blue Jackets. The all-important transfer spot goes to the Flush, as they're into the finale, and they'll join the top two of this group. The Vikings, the Savage Jackal, Oris 1, and the Sphery Spiders. Oris 1 trying to have a lot of success again. They've won 2 events, and they are in the lead now. Only team out of the funnel.
They're joined now out of the funnel by the Spheri Spiders. Oris 1 trying to quickly get down to the second funnel and build a big lead. They're in the second funnel. Here comes a couple more. The Savage Jackal and the Spheri Spiders are there. The Vikings starting to fall a bit behind. And again, first out is Oris 1. They have really done well in this event so far. Here comes Savage Jackal. A little bit of contact there between Oris 1 and the Vikings. And it is going to be Oris 1 that will come in second there out of that portion of the course, down for the final portion, the final green area of this course. It's Oris 1 and Savage Jackal. They're both trying to slip their way through. They are both down. It's Oris 1 with the win. Savage Jackal advances, and the Spheri Spiders and the Vikings are going to settle for somewhere between 5th and 8th. Look at the replay here, and I'll tell you what, Oris 1 might be awfully difficult to beat, trying to be the first team to win 3 events. And they look good in this event. Went back and forth there with Savage Jackal, but ultimately they made the pass at the end that got it done. You can see how close they were all the way down to the end. Luckily for them, that's just between who finishes first and second. And they both advance into the finale to join the Blue Jackets and Flush. Into the finale. Look at this gigantic stadium, and it is packed to the brim with fans. We saw the Oris 1 crew earlier, and I believe we saw Flush there right next to each other, the cheering sections for those two teams. Let's see who comes out on top, or will it be the Savage Jackal or the Blue Jackets? They are underway in the finale. First down was Flush. First out of the first funnel, though, is the Blue Jackets, joined by Oris 1. Oris 1 again having a lot of success. And again, it's the Flush who are going to be the final team out of the funnel. Into the first funnel now, second funnel, excuse me, are the Blue Jackets and Oris 1. Who's going to be first down? Is it Oris 1 again? Looks like they might have the angle. It is. Oris 1 gets down through the second funnel once again. They're joined now by Flush. They're close as we make their way down through this portion of the Plinko course, down onto a slide. Is it Oris 1 first? The answer is yes. A little bit of a bobble there by Flush. They're going to have a little bit of time to make up in this second portion of the Plinko course. Got one more to get through. You see that green slide. That's where you want to go. Now here comes the Blue Jackets, and they've gotten stuck. They're in trouble. Blue Jackets going to be pushed by Flush. That gives a huge lead to Oris 1. Can they get it done and become the first 3-time winner? No, out of nowhere. Here come the Blue Jackets. They'll get it done. Flush finishes second. Oris 1 takes the bronze, and Savage Jackal in fourth. You have to watch this. What a move at the end by the Blue Jackets, who were momentarily stuck on the course. They're able to come back from that, and you're going to see it right there. It was a momentary loss of any kind of movement from the Blue Jackets. They had to be rescued there by Flush. It gave a huge lead to Oris 1, and how did the Blue Jackets pull it off? They got stuck there too. Went right through the middle, and right there, wow, just waited for Oris 1 to make a little bit of a rocking motion there, and they just took the advantage, slipped right through the hole, and the Blue Jackets take home the gold today. What a run by them. That was a very impressive finale, and a very nice move, the winning move there, made by the Blue Jackets as they get the win in this event. On the left side of your screen, the official event scores and the results for today. 20 points for the Blue Jackets. Flush is going to make up 2 points on Oris 1, but Oris 1 will maintain the lead all the way down at Swiftblade today, who doesn't pick up any points, as it was Blue Jackets, Flush, Oris 1, Savage Jackal, and the Janitors who finish in the top 5 of today's event. Which means now, through 13 of 16 events, it is a 5-point lead for Oris 1. They win their second bronze, as they now hold a 5-point lead, and then it's 13 more points between Flush and Savage Jackal. The Snow Wolves are 4th. The Steel Brothers have dropped back to 5th. So now it may be more of a 2-team event, or 2-team championship showdown as we get to the final portion of the season. However, we've seen a lot of big jumps in points one way or another. Congrats to Oris 1. They're up to 141 points after a 3rd place finish. Flush picks up a couple of points on the championship lead, as they're now up to 136 points after their silver. But today, they're all aspiring to be the Blue Jackets. A winning move for the ages gives them the gold as they look to build on that for the last couple of events here in this season. An impressive run by a couple of different teams, and again, Oris 1 and Flush showing that they may very well be the two teams to beat for this year. It is crunch time in the 2021 Marble Champions League season. Just 3 events to go in this 16-event season. We have come a long way, but still a lot to be determined. Left side of your screen showing you the overall standings. It's a 5-point lead for Oris 1 over Flush. It's then an 18-point lead over the Savage Jackal, Snow Wolves in 4th, and the Steel Brothers in 5th. Hello again, friends. I'm Keanu Bittersey. Glad to have you here for today's event. You can see a very large course for today's event. The 14th of 16 in the Marble Champions League. As we said, kind of coming into this event, could change, but right now it seems as though it's a 2-team race between Flush and Oris 1. Those are the 2 teams that have won multiple events so far this year, and they are the top 2 in the overall standings. So we will see how they do today. The teams are ready. The fans are ready. Are you ready? This is event number 14 of the 2021 Marble Champions League. This is the half pipe. And there are 5 sets of half pipes to go through. All of them those orange half pipes that you'll see, and they're numbered there 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that you can see how far down the course you are. There's the finish line. As always, this is a group event. And we're going to really pay attention to groups B and C. That's where the top 2 stand. Oris 1 in Group B, and Flush is in Group C. But first, we'll start with Group A. This is the Snow Wolves, Tattoo Bola, the Sphery Spiders, and Swiftblade. Looking down to the second set of half pipes are 3 of the 4. Now everybody's in their second half pipe. Who gets down first? The answer is going to be both the Snow Wolves and the Sphery Spiders. Now everybody's down to 3. Now all the way down to number 5. Here we go. It's Swiftblade and the Sphery Spiders. Here comes Tattoo Bola. It is Swiftblade. It is the Snow Wolves. Tattoo Bola comes in 3rd, and the Sphery Spiders really hurting what's going to be a low-scoring day for them. 28 seconds time there, and let's have a look at the replay. You can see these ones go very quickly here. Tattoo Bola got through the first half pipe first. Ultimately, they weren't really seemingly in it that much. Although as you got down to 3 and then 4 and 5, things really tightened up. So an advancement for the Snow Wolves and Swiftblade as they'll advance into the semifinal. Here is Group B. The Janitors, the Vikings, Oris 1, and Lynx Rufus. Let's see what Oris 1 does. They're the last one out of the first half pipe. They're going to be the last one out of, or the third out of the second half pipe. However, here they go, down to the final half pipe. Oris 1 and Lynx Rufus going side by side. They are both through. They both advance. And the Lynx Rufus runs the fastest time at a 15.567. That happened in a hurry. Vikings take 3rd. Janitors are 4th. But even with a 4th place finish for the Janitors, that was 6 seconds faster than our last place finisher from Group A. That was a whirlwind of an event there. And Oris 1 able to advance after Lynx Rufus picks up the win. And there at the bottom of the course, you wondered if they were going to knock each other out. The answer was no. Pretty easy there for Oris 1 and Lynx Rufus to advance into Semifinal A. So down to Group C now. This is where second place running Flush is, along with Savage Jackal, the Archangels, and the Speedy Hunters. And right now it's the Archangels in the lead, followed by Flush. They're both down to funnel number 3. Now it looks like a pass is made. That's Archangels and Flush. Here comes Flush. They're down to number 5. They're in the lead. Can they hold on? Who's going to get down first? Uh-oh, here comes everybody down to the final portion. Flush and Savage Jackal advance. The Archangels go into the 5th set of half pipes in the lead. They will come out 3rd and will not transfer. Obviously a disappointing end for what was a pretty solid run by the Archangels, and they have really been full of disappointments for the majority of the season. They have an event win, an extreme surprise there. However, for the most part, it has been disappointment. As you see, there was the winning move by Flush and the transfer spot for the Savage Jackal. So they are in the Semifinal B, and they will face the top two finishers of our final group. And we'll see, can the Steel Brothers, who have really, really struggled, can they finally get back out of the group stage? They're joined by the Trojans, the Blue Jackets, and Onyx. And now Onyx and the Blue Jackets joined now by everybody. And Onyx is going to come out of that one last. Everybody's down on to number 4. Now Onyx is in the lead alone in the 5th set of halfpipes, trying to get this win and do it without any kind of drama. Here come the Trojans. Now here comes the Blue Jackets and the Steel Brothers. Everybody through, and it will be Onyx, followed by the Steel Brothers. And the Trojans and the Blue Jackets going to make up the rear here, and they're going to have the slowest time, so they will not pick up any points. Wow, that's really disappointing coming off of a win. The Blue Jackets will score no points. The Steel Brothers finally advance again. It has been quite a while for them, as they had that lead and had a pretty big cushion in the championship overall point standings, but they gave all of that up. They've fallen out of the top 5. Excuse me, into 5th, I should say, coming into this event. They will advance after Onyx wins the final group. So they're in the Semifinal B. Both of our top 2 advancing into the semifinals, which again for Flush continues to cause some problems because they are not picking up enough points. Trail by 5 coming in, picked up 2 points in our last event. Although they're down 5, and if they were to pick up 2 in each of the next 3 events, they would be the champion. Semifinal A, this includes Oris 1, along with Lynx Rufus, the Snow Wolves, and Swiftblade. They are off. And Oris 1 is still in the first set of half-pipes. Now all of a sudden they are making a big move. They're down to number 3. Down to 4 are Lynx Rufus and the Snow Wolves, trying to advance into the finale. They're down to the 5th funnel. Here we go, on to the final half-pipe. It's going to be Lynx Rufus getting the win. Transferring is the Snow Wolves. Oris 1 knocked down in the semifinal. They'll try to take 3rd place here. Get down as quickly as they can to gain as many points as they can, but the door is open for Flush. And it will be a 3rd place finish for Oris 1 with a time of 33.929. Keep an eye on that. They can finish no worse than 7th. Obviously, since they finished 3rd in this event. Swiftblade with the slowest time, a 35.047, but they were 15 seconds slower than either of the first 2. That was not close at all. Oris 1 had a lot of success the first time in the group stage, not so here. So they're knocked out in the semifinal, opening the door for Flush to continue to pick up points. They could end up in the lead. You never know what happens. Obviously, we'll see what happens here in Semifinal B, and if they can at least get into the finale and really pick up some points and make it very interesting for the final 2 events. Here we go. Steel Brothers, Savage Jackal, Onyx, and Flush. Savage Jackal is 3rd place in the standings right now. They're a little further behind, 18 points back right now, but if they could win an event maybe, really make it interesting. They're still in the first set of half-pipes, though. It's Flush in the lead. Flush is down to number 4 along with Onyx. And they've got a pretty big lead. Nobody's in 3 yet. And down to 5 goes Flush. They are just inches away now from making their way to the finale. Onyx is in the final set as well. Here is Onyx to get the win. Flush will advance. And a huge, huge transfer there by Flush, as Savage Jackal will try to take 3rd. And they will. The Steel Brothers finish 4th in this one, and they'll finish 7th and 8th, respectively, which means a 5th place finish for Oris 1. So we'll see how many points can Flush make up. They get the transfer there as we look at the replay. That wasn't close by any stretch. It was easily the top 2 and then the bottom 2. A pretty big gap in between seemingly there. And into the finale. Here we go. In event number 14. Could we get our first 3-time winner, not Oris 1, but rather Flush. These are the two that have won 2 events and have an opportunity to really do something big here. Snow Wolves, Flush, Onyx, Lynx, Rufus. What can Flush do to try to make up the lead? They are second as we make our way down quickly into the third set of half pipes there, and Onyx is all the way down to number 4 already. Onyx is all the way down to the 5th. They might run the fastest time. Yes, they will. Fastest time belongs to the champion, Onyx. Wow, what a move there. A 14.191. Here comes Snow Wolves. They're going to finish in second. Flush is trying to medal here and see if they can get through. Now here comes Lynx Rufus. It'll be Lynx Rufus that'll pick it up. And a disaster strikes for Flush in the finale. They'll take 4th, but it could have been a whole lot better than that. And if you are Oris 1, thank you very much. You've got to be saying to Onyx, the Snow Wolves, and Lynx Rufus. How about Onyx? That's an impressive run there. A 14.191. Wins it by over 8 seconds and wins it by nearly 20 seconds over the 4th place finisher, Flush. That was absolute pure dominance by Onyx in the finale to take the win and the gold today. Impressive on so many facets there. As we'll have a look at the results with a quiet course behind us now. Onyx takes first, second to the Snow Wolves, third to Lynx Rufus, 4th is Flush. As we said, Oris 1 ends up in 5th. So just 1 point gained for Flush. It could have been a whole lot better. They could have gained 9 points and the lead if they had won that event. Instead, because they finished 4th, they get just 1 point on Oris 1. And so Oris 1 remains the championship leader. You look at the overall standings, it's down to a 4-point lead. It's now a 14-point lead over the Snow Wolves, who are in 3rd, Savage Jackal 4th, Steel Brothers are 5th. Onyx picks up their first win. They're in a 3-way tie for 10th after their first event win of the season. We are 14 events down with just 2 more to go. Congratulations to Lynx Rufus. They're in that 3-way tie, up to 102 points after a 3rd place finish. The Snow Wolves are into 3rd place after a 2nd place finish. But today, they all aspire to be Onyx. An impressive run in the finale. They run the fastest time, and they saved it for the final time. They get the win in event number 14 of the 2021 Marble Champions League, and it sets up just 4 points the difference in 2 more events as we get ready for the home stretch of the 2021 Marble Champions League. This has been a presentation of Marble Fubeca, and until next time, I'm Keanu Bittersaki. Thanks for watching. We are down to just 2 events to crown a champion in the 2021 Marble Champions League as we are back for event number 15. Well, again, friends, I'm Keanu Bittersaki. Glad to have you here as we are really coming down to the final push for a championship. You see on the left side of your screen the overall standings. It's really mostly a 2-team race between Oris 1 and Flush. The Snow Wolves also within 14 points, 20 points back are the Savage Jackal in 4th, and the Steel Brothers have fallen all the way to 5th. With 129 points, so really just a 2-team race as of right now. Lots of things can change. As we saw earlier in the season, it seemed as though it was almost inevitable that the Steel Brothers were going to win the championship. Even though they hadn't even won an event, they were so dominant early on, they have severely fallen off. And so we're down to Oris 1 and Flush as the 2 main competitors as we get ready for today's event. Look at the trophy they'll compete for today, 1 step closer to a championship in this league. The teams are ready. The fans are ready. Are you ready? This is event number 15 of the 2021 Marble Champions League. This is baseball. We should have a look at our course. A lot of the ways that you've seen many of these events go that involve different courts or fields that they're being played on. They'll go through a course, a typical marble course, onto the field. There it is right there. And they'll score either 8, 10, or 5 points, or maybe none at all if they're not able to score off that fidget spinner bat. Down to straightaway center field, going to get you the most points, 10, if you can hit it straightaway center. There are the groupings on your screen, as always. A, B, C, and D. Top 2 from each group will advance. Meanwhile, the bottom two will sort their way out through 9th through 16th. We'll start with Group A. Tatu Bola, Onyx, Archangels, and Flush. Big one early on. Flush right now running in third. Again, it doesn't really matter how you get down, just what you score. Got a couple of 8s there from Onyx, and I believe that was Tatu Bola. Nope, that was the Archangels who picked up 8. Flush does not score. Let's have a look at the replay. Flush knocked out early, and a big blow to their hopes. There's the score easily for Onyx, and there were the Archangels just off to the right of the left field opening was Flush. They are unable to score. They are knocked out in the group stage. And now Group B becomes a very important grouping. As Oris 1 is a part of that group, they can really separate themselves. They're along with the Janitors, the Sphery Spiders, and the Snow Wolves. The Janitors taking a long time to get down. That might actually work in their advantage. They'll have maybe a little bit of field to play with. There's a score. Look like 8 for the Snow Wolves. There's 8 more for the Janitors. No score from Oris 1. They're knocked out, as are the Sphery Spiders. They don't score. Oris 1 with an opportunity to take a huge lead. If they're able to score some points, advance further in today's event, they failed to do so. They really never had a chance, as you see on the replay here. I'm surprised that the Janitors were even able to score, as it looked like there just wasn't a whole lot of momentum. There it was. Wow, man, just got it to knock in the left field opening. We've seen 4 scores, all of them into the left field spot for 8 points. So that is going to make it very interesting now as we go into the final event between these top 2. Oh, by the way, could we get maybe one of the next 2? 3rd and 4th place, could they get into this as we go into Group C with the Lynx Ruffus, the Blue Jackets, Swiftblade, and the Savage Jackal? They're one of them. That was a score, I believe, from Swiftblade. There's another score. I believe that was 10. Yep, Lynx Ruffus picked up 10. Swiftblade picks up an 8. Savage Jackal picked up 8, but they're eliminated off the timed tiebreaker. And the Blue Jackets unable to score. There's the 8 that's going to get Swiftblade in. There's the 10 to straightaway center for Lynx Ruffus. Blue Jackets didn't score, and there were the 8 points, but it was too late at that point based on the tiebreaker for Savage Jackal. They're eliminated and will not advance into the semifinal. And into Group D. The Vikings, Speedy Hunters, Steel Brothers, and Trojans. Did the Steel Brothers make a late gasp attempt at this? Looking for a score. I don't think we've gotten one yet. There was one. 5 points for the Trojans. They advance, as do the Speedy Hunters, and that's because they were the first team down. With a time of 7.783 over the 7.910 of the Steel Brothers. They're eliminated, as are the Vikings. So they can't do anything about it. Maybe the Janitors could have a chance to try to get a little bit closer in this one. But a very interesting group stage knocks out a lot of big-name competitors as we move into the semifinals. Off they go, the Archangels, Onyx, Janitors, and Snow Wolves. First one down to the Janitors. There's 8 points. There's a 10. Gonna need some big scores. Instead, no score from the Archangels or Onyx. Snow Wolves put up 10. They get the win in the semifinal. And the transfer spot goes to the Janitors. So the Janitors got down in a hurry. They scored quickly. And wow, look at that. A ricochet off of Onyx puts in the 10 points for the Snow Wolves. That is huge and a killer for the Onyx as they will be eliminated in the semifinal round. It moves the Snow Wolves and Janitors into the finale. Semifinal B now. See what happens. First one down is going to be the Trojans. And our first score, looking for it. There's 8 points. And that's going to be it. Quickly, no one else scores, and the Trojans, by virtue of being the first to hit the field, they are advancing into the finale. Swiftblade scores the 8 points. Wow, look at that. That was in and out for 5 points for Swiftblade. Then they knocked it into left field for 8. So they scored twice, kind of, as they couldn't quite hold on to those 5 points down the right field line. Picked up 8 instead. Either way, any score was going to do it for them. And the Trojans were the first to hit the course, so they're able to advance as well based on the time tiebreaker. as we get to our finale. Gonna try to shake it up here as we get late into the season. Just one more event after today. We'll see where everybody shakes out with that group staging as far as where they're placed, 9th through 16th. We'll fit somewhere in there, but first we've got a champion to determine. Swiftblade, the Janitors, Snow Wolves, and Trojans. First one down is going to be Swiftblade. What late get for the Trojans there, as the Trojans picked up 8, as did the Janitors. The Janitors, as we'll see on the replay, win the gold with 8 points to left field. Let's have a look at it. First one down was Swiftblade, but they didn't score. Where's the game winner? There it is. Perfectly done off the left field foul area. Off the corner of this field. Perfectly placed. And actually, for that matter, the Trojans did the exact same thing. The problem is they did it 1.7 seconds later, and so they'll take home the silver. The bronze goes to Swiftblade based on the time tiebreaker, and the Trojans come away without a medal in 4th place. Congratulations to the Janitors. You can see their cheering section loving it here as they get the win. And we'll look at the event results for today. The full results, which will give us a little bit more clarity of what we're going to look at coming in. 4-point lead when we began the event. As it pops up, Oris 1 picked up 2 points. Flush picked up 3 points. They gain only 1 point. But it's a 3-point game going into the final week of the season, so this is going to be very, very close. The Janitors win it over the Trojans, Swiftblade, Snow Wolves, and Lynx Ruffus, the top 5 from today's overall standings. And now we're going to move into the total season standings. Here we go with one more to go. It's a 3-point lead. The Snow Wolves, with a big week, move within 4 points. It's a 3-team race for the championship. Oris 1 at 154, Flush at 151, the Snow Wolves at 150. It is tight as we go into event number 16, the final week of the season. And these teams certainly going to have some thinking to do. Congratulations to Swiftblade. They will take home 3rd place. The Trojans take home 2nd, but today everybody aspires to be the Janitors. They get the win in baseball here in today's event. Going to make them feel a little bit better about what's been an up and down season for them. And it is certainly going to be a very interesting final event of the season. The 2021 Marvel. 16 teams began. 15 events have been run, but yet it all comes down to this as we welcome you to the finale of the 2021 Marble Champions League. Hello again, friends. I'm Keanu Bitterzuki. Glad to have you here for what will be ultimately a championship deciding run. You see the overall standings on the left side of your screen. Oris 1, Flush, and the Snow Wolves all within 4 points of each other as the top 3. Then 11 points back to the Savage Jackal. 3 more points back to the Janitors, 2 more points back to the Steel Brothers. Those are the 6 teams that are within 20 points of the leader coming into today's final event. We have seen a lot of ups and downs. We have seen a lot of momentum shifts, and maybe today we get yet another one, and we end up with possibly a surprise champion. No clear favorite, obviously, in the catbird seat is Oris 1 with a slight 3-point lead, but it really is anybody's game as we see the course for today's finale event, which is a 4-lap race. It's a long lap, so we're not going to just rush through today's event to crown a champion, but certainly going to be an exciting event. And again, you never know what's going to happen in the 2021 Marble Champions League, so we don't have any idea who's going to come out on top and come out as the victor. For the final time, the teams are ready, the fans are ready. Are you ready? This is event number 16, the finale of the 2021 Marble Champions League. This is the lift run. Our course for today's event is a long, winding course involving everything from funnels to those switchback portions of the course, even to those climbing stairs there. You see the blue and white stairs will cause an interesting, different portion of the course that we've never seen before. That's down in Sector 3. It's a 3-sector course. And then there is the lift hill, which will bring you right back to the start, which is also the finish. You see there at that green flag, the first green flag on the left side, is where you set up for the start. It's also where you'll restart the next lap. So ultimately, that's our finish line as well. 4 laps to determine a champion, and we are off. Here we go.
Let's see who grabs the quick lead. It's going to be Swiftblade in the lead, followed by the Steel Brothers and Onyx. Now in the lead of the Blue Jackets. They make their way down to the third funnel very quickly. They're followed closely by the Janitors, it looks like. There's maybe Flush in there as well. That's the case. It's a crowded funnel there as they're looking to make their way through those two different areas with the funnels, or with the, the windmills as they make their way to the switchback portion of the course. It's a crowded course here. Right now it's the Janitors in the lead, followed by Swiftblade and the Speedy Hunters, and now the Speedy Hunters are stuck. They're going to get hit eventually. Let's see how much time it costs them. Doesn't look like it cost them a whole lot of time. It's the Janitors in the lead making their way up the stairs for the first time, followed by Swiftblade, the Trojans, the Sphery Spiders, and the Speedy Hunters, the top 10. Oris 1, your championship leader coming in, runs in 7th right now. And the Janitors, who came in, as we said, what it was, the 18 points, I believe, 18 points back. They're going to need a whole lot of help, but it's not impossible for them. Now it's the Speedy Hunters in the lead, followed by the Steel Brothers and the Trojans. Janitors running 4th, the Sphery Spiders are 5th, Oris 1 still running back in 7th. Flush has moved their way up to 5th. They're now in a good spot championship-wise. And now they're all the way into the lead here in lap 2. Big run for them. Oris 1 has made their way onto the second lap, but it's now Flush who's pulling ahead. They're the only one in that lone first blue funnel there. Let's see if they can pull. Not going to happen. Here comes Swiftblade. They're going to try to make a pass for the lead, and here come a couple more. That's the Steel Brothers and Lynx Rufus. Who gets out first? Here comes Oris 1. They're now into 5th. They're making themselves known in that blue funnel there. And now they are the first through that funnel. They're in the lead, followed by Swiftblade. Here come the Trojans, Lynx Rufus, and it's Lynx Rufus that comes out first. They're going to make their way down onto the portion that's going to lead us to the switchbacks, and right now it is Lynx Rufus ahead of the Janitors. Who's going to come out first? It's going to be the Steel Brothers. They're going to be followed by Lynx Rufus. The Janitors running 3rd. Now here come Oris 1. Can they get it done? Through that first orange funnel toward the lift hill here are the Steel Brothers. And here come a couple more. Right now it's the Steel Brothers in the lead. They're alone on that lift hill mechanism as they make their way into lap number 3. They've got the lone lead right now, trying to build an advantage here over Lynx Rufus. And the Janitors who just came through there, they are going to take over 2nd place. Now they might take over the lead. They're going to try to make the pass. And they may have gotten it done. We switched away from that camera momentarily to show you that Flush has moved into 3rd. 4th is the Lynx Rufus. Oris 1 is in a battle for a championship. They're running in 5th. It is close right now between Flush and the Lynx Rufus, and the Vikings have gotten a blue flag to get out of the way. They're moving awfully slow. They've been lapped. Well, that's certainly not what they wanted to see. And now a yellow flag is out for the Trojans. They are stuck on the course, and now they're going to be knocked back on. That could have been a big problem. Meanwhile, it's Lynx Rufus ahead of Steel Brothers. Oris 1 has moved into 3rd. Flush has dropped all the way back to 8th, but now Lynx Rufus is in trouble. They're going to get out of that issue there where they were stopped. They're still the leaders ahead of Steel Brothers. Oris 1 up there as well. Now here comes Flush. They're going to retake 2nd place. Lynx Rufus again is stopped on the switchback portion of the course. Things are getting wild right now on lap number 3. It is Flush who may be in the lead, or maybe it's going to be Tatu Bola out of nowhere, followed by the Steel Brothers. Flush is in 3rd. Oris 1 has dropped all the way back to 7th. It's just a 3-point lead, remember, coming in. Flush right now in position to be the championship winner. Now they're going to drop back to 4th. Things get a little more muddy. The Steel Brothers are now the leaders. They were the championship favorites almost the entire season. They have fallen back severely, and we are into the final lap. The Steel Brothers take the white flag, followed by the Blue Jackets. Lynx Rufus ahead of Tatu Bola. The Flush have dropped back a couple more spots. It's moving them out of the championship lead. Oris 1 running in 7th right now would be your champion. And they are running side by side along with the Snow Wolves. Those are the top 3, and they're all running very close. Now the Snow Wolves have jumped all the way up to 3rd. They're in advantage now. They're trying to make some passes. Tatu Bola just made a pass for the lead ahead of the Steel Brothers, followed by the Snow Wolves. Flush has moved up to 4th. Oris 1 stays steady in 7th place. Things are getting awfully tight as we've still got marbles making their way onto the final lap, but who really cares about them at this point? It's all about Tatu Bola in the lead for the win, but then also the Snow Wolves who may have just taken a pass for the lead. Yes, they did. Followed by the Steel Brothers. Tatu Bola is going to drop back to 3rd, and now the Steel Brothers are in the lead ahead of the Snow Wolves. Flush is in 5th. Now they're in 4th. Oris 1 stays in 7th. And the Snow Wolves are in 2nd. Things are getting awfully tight. The Steel Brothers still in the lead. Oris 1 has dropped off the top 8 leaderboard. They are in severe trouble of losing this one. The Sphery Spiders getting a blue flag there, telling them to move out of the way. It's a battle for the win, maybe a battle for a championship for the Snow Wolves. Right now the Steel Brothers in the lead. Now it's a 3-way race between the Blue Jackets, Snow Wolves, and Steel Brothers. Boy, things are getting insane at the end of this one. Coming across for the final time, it's the Blue Jackets that get the win. They're going to take the 20 points. Here come the Steel Brothers for second. Flush is going to take third away from the Snow Wolves. 15 points for them. The Snow Wolves pick up 12 points. The Janitors finish in 5th. It is all over. Flush is going to win the championship. Oris 1 finishes 5 points behind. They came in with just a 3-point advantage. They came back to finish in 6th after struggling and falling all the way off the top half leaderboard. But ultimately, it's not enough. Flush is going to pick up 15 points. Oris 1 gets just 10. And that's enough to get it done. Unbelievable by Flush. A back and forth race here in the lift run that really could have seen anything as we're waiting for these last few marbles to finish up. Coming across the line is Swiftblade and the Archangels, and now Savage Jackal in 11th, 12th, and 13th. And we're going to go ahead and close this one out. Boy, that is one heck of a finish. There are the official results. The winner is the Blue Jackets, who win yet again. They've done that multiple times this year. But the real winner today is Flush. They win the championship. We'll show the final overall results in a moment. And here they are. In a second now, they'll pop up on your screen and we'll get to see the official results. There they are. By 2 points, Flush is your champion of the 2021 Marble Champions League. 166. Oris 1 will finish second at 164 points. The Snow Wolves are third. The Steel Brothers are fourth. The Janitors run in 5th. Followed by Savage Jackal and the Blue Jackets, who won that event, finish in 7th overall for the championship series. Gonna go ahead and pull up the podium. Flush picks up enough points to take the lead after finishing third. They get the bronze. The silver goes to the Steel Brothers. I normally would say that today they all aspire to be the Blue Jackets. However, today everybody really does aspire to be Flush. They get the championship win. Don't take anything away from the Blue Jackets, who definitely had an up and down season. They get the win to finish out this year, so congratulations to them and what they were able to do. But ultimately, it's Flush that gets the victory. Party is on for the green and black and their fans, who, as we've said, this entire season have done a fantastic job of packing the house. They do it once again today. There is the specific cheering section for Flush, and I'm sure you're going to hear a lot of cheers throughout the entire crowd. Those that were rooting specifically for the team in green and black, those that were rooting just for a great round of racing. We certainly saw that today. A lot of back and forth, and like we said, anything can happen. Ultimately, it is one of the top 3 that gets it done, and they get it done with a bronze finish in the event. What a run for Flush. They get the 3rd place finish today, but they get the big prize. They are the 2021 Marble Champions League champions. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Keanu Bittersicki, and you've been watching a presentation of Marble Fubeca'.